Sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning, and SoClean is a helpful complement to your daily routine. Join over 2 million SoClean customers enjoying peace of mind. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Find out more at SoClean.com. Always follow the manufacturer's instruction. Prepayment required for risk-free trial. For contraindications and details, visit SoClean.com.
Summer's over, but that joint pain is still there. Time to do something. I want you to call QC Kinetics now. You've put it off long enough. It's time to get real, lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees and back and shoulder and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. Lots of people here have done this, and they're living life to the fullest, pain-free. Don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics today. Stop putting it off. Call now for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and in Greeneville, QC Kinetics. 828-333-9517.
It's the 114th Canton Labor Day Festival, presented by Champion Credit Union. September 4th and 5th at Sorrells Street Park. Enjoy music acts, including Diamond Rio, Ingles Ultimate Air Dog Show, Food Truck Row, and craft beers, car shows, parade, water slide, crafts, and much more. Sponsored by Ingles Markets, Evergreen Packaging, Stanberry Insurance Agency, Haywood Regional Hospital, USW Local 507, McGill Associates, Haywood Baptist Association, and visit NCSmokies.com. Check CantonLaborDay.com for tickets.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Broncos will sign quarterback Russell Wilson to a 5-year, $245 million extension. His deal now runs through 2028 and includes $165 million guaranteed, the third most in NFL history. Could that deal move the needle on a new Lamar Jackson contract with the Ravens? ESPN's Jamison Hensley.
I think the best kind of the sweet spot for a deal to happen is after the season and before March 7th, as that's when they have to put the franchise tag on Lamar. I think between that point, I think is the time when a lot of negotiations, when that franchise tag deadline is out there, you know there's a lot of urgency.
Jamison Hensley on Barton Hahn. Free agent pitcher Carlos Martinez gets an 85-game suspension for violating MLB's domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy. Serena and Venus Williams play a first-round doubles match at the U.S. Open tonight. Live coverage at 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the dawn of football. I get we had week 0 last week, but who cares?
I mean, when your best game is Northwestern Nebraska, I don't know that we can really call that day one.
Indeed. Today, we can consider today day one of the 2022 college football season. We've got action tonight. We got the backyard brawl.
Take me home to the place I belong.
The West Virginia Mountaineers taking on the Pittsburgh Panthers for the first time in 10 years.
It's disgusting that we allowed this to not be played for 10 years.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when both teams leave their respective conference, one bolting to the Big 12, the other a year later to the ACC. I guess they could just never find a non-conference game open date that they could get together.
It's because Pittsburgh was scared. I get it. I would not want to take us on either.
Pittsburgh versus West Virginia. It's the rivalry game, renewed. 2 USC transfer quarterbacks facing off. It'll be 7 o'clock tonight that we get the kickoff of that game. We also have Purdue in action against Penn State, a Big Ten battle to open up week 1.
That's real life, actual big boy football.
Yep.
And at the end of this here program, you're going to get a bonus. Jeremy goes bonkers, and I have got some dog bangers for you today.
All of your picks will be coming up at the end of the program, so you'll need to hang on with us through the 3 hours here. We will obviously keep you entertained, as we always do here in the Ingles studio. Always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And yes, we are heard on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 locally. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to be local. You can take us with you everywhere you go with the iHeartRadio app. Absolutely free to listen on the app. It's absolutely free to listen and watch on the YouTube stream. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. We got a lot going on today, obviously, with the kickoff of college football in earnest. We got Russell Wilson getting paid by the Denver Broncos. Not sure anybody should be shocked by that. But
well, you shouldn't be shocked by it, but I'm not sure you should be as happy about it as people seem to be.
Really? We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. Is this the new baseline for the Lamar Jackson deal? College football playoff expansion is being talked about tomorrow. There's a big meeting on it. Is it going to be 12 teams? Is it going to be 16 teams?
And there is a huge discussion about my favorite word, fair. Is it fair? My take may not be what you think.
All right. We'll also talk about college football sleepers for the upcoming season. Jeremy has his, he's been looking at all the lines. He's been looking at all of the odds.
And basically what we're trying to find is who's going to be my little Cinderella boyfriend this year. I need to find a replacement for Kansas State because, frankly, I cannot put money on Adrian Martinez. I value my money too much for this to be Kansas State again.
Yeah, no, I don't know that you can. But Jeremy's got his sleepers that we'll talk about in the 4 o'clock hour as well. In the 4 o'clock hour, top of the 4 o'clock hour, as always on a Thursday during football and basketball season, we will talk with the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jones Angel. Talk about that Florida A&M battle that was, well, at least in the first half, last week. See what the Tar Heels got going for this week as they go to Kidd Brewer Stadium to take on the Appalachian Mountaineers. All of it coming your way here on ESPN Asheville inside the Ingles studio.
I also have inside information about a topic we have talked about multiple times that directly affects your team.
My team.
Your team.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Nope.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay.
We'll get into that later in this here program.
All right. Can't wait
I
to
have
hear that
inside knowledge that everything is not hunky-dunky.
Uh-oh. Yikes. Plus, we'll get just a bit outside weird news and don't do crimes. All of that coming your way. Over the next 3 hours, Russell Wilson, he's getting the big contract from the Denver Broncos. They didn't make this trade for nothing.
No, I mean, you knew he was going to get the deal.
Of course. And it comes in at 5 years, $245 million, $165 million guaranteed.
And in the words of one Mr. Chris Rock, good Lord, that's a lot of money.
It is, but he's worth it.
Is he, though?
I mean, Russell Wilson's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. In his first 10 years in the NFL, no other guy has more wins than he does in the history of the league. Russell Wilson is blank. What have we heard since the day before he was drafted? With NC State, with Wisconsin, Russell Wilson is a winner. Winner. And that's what the Denver Broncos want to do. And you pay winners.
And I'm just going to say that Super Bowl's been a long time ago.
It was.
This contract goes on for a long time. And be really honest with yourself. Is this a guy you think's going to age particularly well? You think at 38, paying him $50 million, you're going to be going, oh, that's value. We're a Super Bowl champion.
Maybe not.
That's the part I don't understand. You have been far more dogmatic on the Denver Broncos than I have since this move was made.
Mm-hmm.
I like Russell. I have no issue with Russell. I just feel like you're spending money in an effort to do what? You Super Bowl contender?
Not yet.
Are you gonna be?
You may be.
Well, you have no draft picks. You didn't this year. You don't next year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a whole lot of money. You got a whole lot of guys that are coming up that do you want to pay them? Jerry Jeudy, you giving him you throwing a bag at him?
They probably will.
Albert Okwuegbunam, you throwing a bag at him?
No.
You're going to have to.
It depends on how it goes.
You're going to have to.
Why?
What else are you going to do? You're going to have to keep this team largely intact.
Your little boyfriend, Greg Dulcich, he may surprise everybody and have the greatest rookie year a tight end's ever had.
I love Greg Dulcich.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a great player. I'm just looking at this Bronco team going, I feel like I've read this book before of the team that goes all in. And, yeah, you're good. And, yeah, you're competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really think you're a threat to anything. Tell me the team in the AFC. What is your line in the AFC? Next 5 years. You have to bet your house on who wins more games. You taking Seattle against the Buffalo Bills?
Am I taking Seattle?
Or Denver, sorry.
Okay, sorry. I was like, wow.
He's wearing the Seattle jersey in the picture on my screen. I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Oh, I will take the Bills.
Taking Buffalo. Are you taking them against Baltimore?
No.
Are you taking them against Kansas City?
Mm-mm.
The LA Chargers?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you're at 5 at best.
Yes.
And I didn't say anything about the Miami Dolphins, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New York Jets. I know that sounds weird. All of those teams are really young.
Yes. And I will
they're
happily take Denver over all of them.
I wouldn't over any of the 3 teams I just said.
Really?
Because Denver's going to get old in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
In a hurry. Those other teams aren't. I get why you did it. I'm not banging on you for doing it.
Okay.
I just don't really know what you think you're going to get out of this. I said this when they made the deal. The only thing that just changed for Russell Wilson is his area code and the logo on his helmet. Everything else is pretty much the same. You got a mediocre line in front of you. You got nice-ish weapons. Your running game's better now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have Pete Carroll. You're not in a division where you have any layups. So, I mean, good for you. It's a great day. If you're a Bronco fan, happy times are here again. I'm just not sure I'd be buying the futures here.
Yeah, buying the futures is one thing, but I mean, you can't really. I don't feel like there is a well-rooted argument against signing Russell Wilson to the extended contract.
Well, I'm not going to level. I didn't love the fact that you traded for him in the first place. There's a huge difference between the L.A. Rams going to get Matthew Stafford as the point man on a roster that was already done,
mm-hmm.
and Denver going to get Russell Wilson with a rookie head coach. People seem to just act like that doesn't matter.
It does.
Yes, it does.
It absolutely does.
And you just have a lot of questions around this team. Is Jerry Jeudy actually a good receiver?
I mean, I believe he is.
He's a Sasquatch.
Yeah, we
believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little green man coming out of a UFO. We believe. I've just never seen it. But Cortland Sutton, is he actually really good?
Yes.
Coming off the injury, I've never seen it. I saw it before that,
mm-hmm.
and then he got paid, and then he got hurt,
mm-hmm.
and he's a guy. There's a lot of you're a guy.
But he's also not had high-level quarterback play. I mean, does that not matter? See, that's the thing is like, okay, we haven't seen Jerry Jeudy make the leap that we all expect, or the impact that we expected him to make when he came into the league. Courtland Sutton hasn't made the recovery in the stats since the injury. Okay, but who was their quarterback last year? Oh, it was Drew Lock.
So
big difference.
Not as big as you think, at least not statistically.
Really?
History of fantasy football will prove to you. Good receivers get theirs. I don't give a damn who their quarterback is.
Okay.
DK Metcalf. If you're drafting fantasy leagues over the next few days, let me just keep throwing that name in there.
Still going to get his.
I took him in the 7th round of a draft last night and laughed a lot.
Despite Geno Smith being there, he'll still get his.
Don't care. I don't care. You're asking for a lot. Courtland Sutton's had 1,000-yard receiving year in his career. Other than that, he's a 700-yard guy. How many yards does Jerry Jeudy have in his life in the NFL?
1,800 yards.
You're way too high.
Am I?
1,300.
Oh, okay. All right.
With 3 touchdowns. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the expectation here is this is L.A. Rams 2.0. You went to get the great quarterback who now comes to a stalwart franchise, and everything's just going to be almost exactly as it was in Seattle. It's a 10-7, 11-6 team that goes into the playoffs, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't give you a snowball's chance at Atlanta against any of the teams I just said.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that changing. It's very rare that you give up virtually all your draft capital for 2 solid years, and then you get better. That's just not how this league works. The Rams were already built. The Rams drafted Cooper Kupp. They went and made the move for Jalen Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
They added a lot of guys down the line. And I'm just going to be honest, Denver's not the best drafting team I've ever seen. I can argue they're one of the 10 worst in the NFL. And now you're going to have to be the Rams because you are paying that huge amount to the quarterback. You don't get to miss. That's the whole problem. That's what nobody wants to talk about. I've listened to Mike Mayock hatred for 3 days because, he missed on all the first-round picks. Go back and look what he did from round 2 on.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't nearly as bad as you think. That's the reason the Raiders are good. I give you a handful of teams that draft well in the first round and then can't play dead in the Western beyond that. You know what those teams tend to be? 7, 8, 9-win teams.
Mm-hmm.
Great, you have the stars. There's nothing else there. One injury, what happens?
Dead.
And that's what Denver is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying this is much riskier than it's being made out to be. And that's not a slight at Russell Wilson. This is like jumping in line at a movie theater. You were 50 people back. Well, now you're 25. Doesn't mean you're getting a seat. How many tickets are left? 5? Okay. Well, that's fantastic. You just really irritated 24 people and didn't actually elicit anything. And that's kind of what I see with Denver.
Did they pay too much for Russell Wilson?
And just to
Did they extend him too long?
Just to be clear, the answer to both of those is no. You did exactly what you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is just one of those times. I'm not a fan. You're the I want to be competitive guy.
Yes.
You're the I want to win 11 games. Just give me a shot. Maybe you never know what.
Yes.
I want to win. Super Bowl or nothing. And when I'm forking over $250 million, I need to be in the top 5. You're not in the top 10. And that's where my issue comes in.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The PhD weight loss program is causing one thing that is a no-no in sports, and that's tanking. The numbers on my scale continue to tank. I am now down nearly 85 pounds in just over 6 months. It's the easiest weight loss program I've ever been on. Their healthy nutrition has changed my life.
When I originally met with Dr. Ashley Lucas, my goal was to get back to a weight where I could work out, be committed to physical activities, and do the things that I enjoyed doing. In just half a year, I've gotten back under my high school weight. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm going back to the gym, and it's all thanks to the plan and program of PhD Weight Loss.
I am knocking down that door of 210 pounds now, and it's a level that I never thought I'd be at in my adult life. PhD, in my opinion, has saved my life. They can help you turn around your weight loss problem as well. Just go to myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
The Honest Truly Calming Collection is our must-have for Hazy's nighttime routine. The tear-free shampoo body wash and moisturizing conditioner help make bath time easy. The Truly Calming face and body lotion nourishes his delicate skin throughout the night. Honest overnight diapers keep leaks on lock for up to 12 hours, so we can both get a good night's sleep. For sweet dreams, end your kiddo's day with the Honest Truly Calming Collection.
Count on Lowe's for Labor Day savings. Get a Maytag top-load washer for just $568 and a top-load dryer only $548. That's a savings of $462 for the pair. Plus, get free delivery and special financing. Also, buy one, get one 50% off select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Paint and Cabot Exterior Stains via rebate. Shop Labor Day savings now at Lowe's. See store Lowe's.com for details and restrictions. Gas dryers available at additional cost. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Valid through 9/7.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
The Russell Wilson 5-year contract extension with the Denver Broncos now puts him third in the league in guaranteed money. Obviously behind the $230 million that the Browns gave to Deshaun Watson and the $189.5 million guaranteed that the Cardinals gave to Kyler Murray. Is this going to be the baseline? Is this the basement for a Lamar Jackson contract with the Baltimore Ravens?
And this is just my takeaway. I feel like this should have been the hot poker to the tuchus of the Baltimore Ravens. Because I started thinking about this. We talked about Lamar earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
There are two just nightmare scenarios that are coming right behind you that make me think you can't franchise tag him.
Okay.
Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Russell Wilson's going to get $250 million, what do you think those two are about to get?
Pat Mahomes type deals.
Oh, it'll make the Pat Mahomes deal look like a Tonka toy.
Really?
I won't be shocked if both of them hit $500 million.
Okay.
Won't be shocked in the least. As a matter of fact, I'd be shocked if they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're Baltimore, you've got to be looking around going, all right, there are no more dominoes left to fall. It has been decided what this will be.
Mm-hmm.
The number is going to be 5 years, $250 million. This is what Lamar will get, I promise you.
Yes.
Now it's just a question of how much will you guarantee. And you've got roughly 7 days to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you let this get close, I would argue he'll say, okay, franchise me. Franchise me. Wait till you see what happens on the other side. Because I do firmly believe $500 million may be low.
Could be.
Herbert and Burrow are going to break the bank. It will be a deal. Both of those will be deals unlike anything you have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm almost to the point if I'm Baltimore, all right, I'm competitive. I do not have the problem I just said with Denver. I look around, this roster is good enough. I have drafted well enough. I've drafted better than anybody in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I have a window and a 25-year-old quarterback. Do I love the fact that I'm going to have to pay him $50 million? No. Is it going to preclude me from doing it? Also no.
No. It shouldn't. I've been curious this whole time I would just love to be inside that room. Inside that room with Steve Bisciotti and Harbaugh and the rest of the gang. DaCosta. What's the holdup? Why have you been waiting so long? Did they just want to see a market correction after Deshaun Watson? And now you've seen it? Now you've seen it with Kyler Murray and his $189.5 million guaranteed, and now you've seen Russell Wilson get his deal.
Well, I mean, because it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It is terrifying for somebody who is – Lamar Jackson makes his hay on his athleticism. I'm going to say this. I was with the guys at Fred Anderson Nissan earlier. Their GM is built like a Greek god. I am built like a trapezoid. He is a little bit older than me, and I have always said, people built like me, you don't see a lot of us in our 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a lot of quarterbacks that make their hay the way Lamar Jackson does, playing into their mid-30s. It tends to atrophy like a dairy product.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them, they're looking at the guaranteed money going, oh, that is a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. And if you look at somebody, Michael Vick is a really good example of this. As soon as he got hurt the first time, what happened? Oh, you're not the same guy anymore.
Right.
And that's the fear. In our YouTube comments, one of our resident Raven fans, Stephen Towle, said guarantee $165 million. Lamar would laugh out loud at that.
100%.
He would laugh out loud of, you think a 33-year-old quarterback is going to get the same guarantee that I do?
Mm-mm.
Are you out of your mind?
I feel like I feel like the basement is still Kyler.
Oh, I think it's higher than that.
No, I'm saying that's where I start. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I go in. Kyler Murray got $189.5 million guaranteed. Do better.
I was an NFL MVP.
Exactly.
I'm going to need not just more, but drastically more.
It's that drastically more where I think you might lose the room. But the choice is,
what are you going to do?
Exactly. The choice is, what are you guys going to do?
This is like paying your taxes. Okay, you don't want to. I fully understand that. What else are you going to do?
Right.
You going to call his bluff here?
We have talked a lot about the possibility that they could franchise him next year, and then franchise him again the following year. Use up your franchises to avoid giving him guaranteed money long term. That way,
and
you
you're
guard yourself
kicking that
against
can down the road.
Long term, you guard yourself against the injury and losing that investment, but also you're just
alienating him one step at a time.
You're dwindling down your opportunities to bring him back long term. So if you only want to have a 2-year window of competing for a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson, then okay, go that route. Do the franchise tag thing. But you're going to tick him off in the meantime. He's going to feel neglected. He's going to feel unappreciated. And you're going to lose him. But do you give him the money?
Satisfied Browns fan in our YouTube comments pointed out Lamar not having an agent. I'm going to be really honest about this. Usually, I put more stock in the agent than I do here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not so sure I couldn't negotiate this deal. Because this really all comes down to the brass tacks. The offset language and things like that, I don't really care. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I care about one thing. I have been Mr. Raven. It's just like Deebo Samuel. All right, you're using me in a way that is really hurting the backside.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's what I do. Now it's my time. All right, you have gotten all of the flowers, all of the things. Now I want to get paid. And you said the Kyler Murray deal. I would not literally even acknowledge anything that wasn't $25 million more than that. Okay. If I'm Lamar Jackson, you come to me with $190 million, I will laugh you out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird way to say 215.
Yeah, I was thinking 5 years, 250, 200 guaranteed. I don't know that Lamar would say no to that if they put that in front of him.
I don't think he would. They just haven't.
And you need to.
Well, I mean, you're out of options now. It's not going to get any better.
Mm-mm.
You asked what has been the holdup. I think the holdup is that they thought at some point the ludicrous amount of guaranteed money was going to go away. It's not. Toothpaste is out of the tube on that one. It's not as crazy as Deshaun Watson, where you're guaranteeing every cent of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've pulled back a little bit from there. I'm not so sure if I was Baltimore to protect myself, I wouldn't load this kind of like the Russell Wilson deal, where it's ugly in the beginning. You got to realize how many players they have on rookie deals that 2, 3, 4 years from now you're going to have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you the upfront. I'll give you the guaranteed, but I'm going to be able to get out of it on the backside. I think that is the solution. Somewhere in the neighborhood, 6 at 300, 210 guaranteed, and the last two are not non-guaranteed, but very low.
I've seen a lot of this, discussions and prognosticating about does the Russell Wilson deal impact the Lamar Jackson trade or the Lamar Jackson contract talks. To me, the answer is simple, and it's no.
To me, the answer is simple, and it's yes. It has set the floor. Well, he's a Super Bowl winner. He's also 2 presidential terms older than me.
Mm-hmm.
That matters. I think it was Dov Kleeman that put this out on Twitter. Jalen Reagor got a 4 and a 7 for Philadelphia. Now, it's a conditional 4 that could become a 5. Amari Cooper got a 5.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's an all-pro. One of them's a bust. One of them is also younger than the other, and you don't pay them nearly as much. Not every situation is apples to apples. And this one is Lamar Jackson's still one of the youngest quarterbacks in the league. So even if the last couple years are not ideal, I got a 4-year window.
Mm-hmm.
Just go get it done.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. When we come back, we'll get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, looking at some gorgeous weather tonight with 50s in the mountains and a nice start to September for us here. We've got some 80s on Friday and then some 70s for the weekend ahead. Looks like rain chances picking up for us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with some half-inch rains late this weekend and early next week for us. So kind of wet and cool into the holiday weekend forecast through Labor Day Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Dak Prescott here. Why do I choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because better sleep elevates my game. Only my Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps me fall asleep faster, keeps me cool, and effortlessly adjusts for my best sleep. The result? 28 minutes more restful sleep a night. That's more focus, more edge, and more highlights. And that means more wins for all of us.
Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 Limited Edition Smart Bed plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Labor Day. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Black Mountain, get ready to rock. Dark City Rock Fest, presented by Elite Events and Promotions, is coming to Silverados Saturday, September 17th, starring Saving Abel. $20 in advance, 25 day of show, and a portion of the proceeds will go to United Way, Dark City Rock Fest with Saving Abel. Saturday, September 17th at silveradoswnc.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Time to get just a bit outside. And tomorrow, Braves fans, is your big chance. I don't know if you know about this. This was somewhat of a surprise in the building today, that coming up tomorrow, Friday, September the 2nd, the hunk of metal that was given to the Atlanta Braves for winning the World Series is going to be in Asheville tomorrow. Yes, remember the commissioner calling it a hunk of metal, the commissioner's trophy, the World Series trophy.
I don't personally remember that, but, because baseball.
But, yeah, the 2021 World Series Championship Trophy will be in Asheville tomorrow at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, from 5 until 8 p.m. You don't have to buy a ticket. It's making its rounds. This is part of a 151-stop tour across Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. The trophy, some of you may have already had your picture taken with it, maybe down at Truist Park. You went to a game or something, saw the trophy. Good for you. It was also at Harrah's, the casino out in Cherokee, back in March, but it will be in downtown Asheville tomorrow, 5 until 8 p.m. Again, no ticket is required. Fans are invited to come down, take their picture with the trophy. And look, I mean, have you ever been close to a championship trophy in a major sport? I know you've probably never been close to the Commissioner's Trophy in baseball because you shy away from everything baseball, Jeremy, but
I've actually worn 3 World Series rings. I have multiple friends that played in the league.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh,
there you go. There it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I actually know more baseball players than I know any other sport.
Right. But, I mean, it's a cool thing to see the trophy. I've seen a Commissioner's Trophy. I've had my picture taken next to one up in Boston. It's a whole lot of fun. And so Braves fans, you don't have to get on a plane and travel to get your picture taken with the trophy. You can do it tomorrow at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, from 5 until 8.
If you're not watching us on YouTube, this is going to prove why you should. You have no idea what I'm about to say.
I don't. Jeremy swears he's got some kind of dirt on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So I have heard for quite some time that the personal issue with Tom Brady, the reason he won't talk about it is because it's hyper-personal.
Hyper-personal.
Well, now I'm not the only one that apparently knows this.
Okay.
The New York Post's page 6 just broke the news that things are not good between Tom and Giselle.
As I figured.
And apparently, it's not just bad. It's she's relocated to Costa Rica, and that's his problem. There have been people around the Buccaneers facility.
That's not good.
NFL reporter Ben Volen was on the Colin Cowherd show earlier and said, I do wonder where his head's at right now. He was so good at 44. There is no doubt in our minds that if Brady is fully committed, he can have a terrific season at 45. but there are definitely signs that his head is not fully into it.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to be the body language police, but I was at Buck's practice yesterday, and he looked miserable. That's not official.
Ouch.
This is not no doubt territory.
No, this is still rumor.
But I am starting to think that maybe we have NFL Yoko. She has shown up to take it down. I don't want to celebrate anybody's sadness.
Right.
But if I was gonna, it would be the person that has haunted my nightmares for the last 22 years.
It would be Tom Brady. I have had a feeling that there was something like that going on. I talked last week, I think it was, that we were talking about this, and the rumor was that, Gisele's not happy. She hasn't been happy for a few years now.
Well, that's been a rumor in Tampa for 2 years.
Yes.
And apparently, and this is all conjecture,
Mm-hmm.
all right? This is just, I had been told this previously. I was told this a year ago. And now it's being reported by somebody else, so I can say it. I don't do gossip stuff. I don't watch Real Housewives. I don't do any of that. I have been told apparently Gisele was not happy with I'm unretiring. I'm coming back. And now she's apparently letting it be known.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a problem, so she has moved out of the country.
And I'm just going to give a piece of advice.
Allegedly.
Yeah, this is just me looking out for Tom. You might want to keep her away from Zach Wilson. He has a bit of a reputation for finding a way to slide in those DMs. That's all I'm saying. Just don't let my young hotshot quarterback near your wife. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And she's friends with Zach Wilson's mom.
Oh, I do remember
that would be the breaking news of the one that, oh, my God, I don't know. Nope, can't say that out loud. I can fake it. You know where I was headed.
Yeah.
But saying it out loud makes you a jerk.
Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, the one thing that we all know about Tom Brady is that he has, for his entire career, been able to shut off all the personal drama and be ready to go at it and focus only on football when it's time for football to start. It's the only thing I have to go on, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on with Tom. He does look like he's a bit off attitude-wise. Like when he came out, when he had that first response after the preseason game against the Tennessee Titans, or no, in the Titans, it was the whatever the last game was. And he had that response of, there's a lot of crap going on and life throws curveballs at you and you just got to kind of deal with it and move on. It's like, not only was I focusing on the fact that he couldn't move his face at the moment, because he clearly had Botox while he was going.
Oh, no doubt.
We all know this. But there was also that, I don't know that I've ever heard Tom Brady speak that way.
Oh, no, there's definitely something up.
It is a concern. But hopefully, the GOAT will be able to put it aside and focus on football once it all starts. What? Now he's covering his mouth. If you're not watching the YouTube stream, he's just bug-eyed and covering his mouth. What?
Hit your button.
Oh, my gosh. There's breaking news, and it's not going to be good for me, I can tell you.
Who's going to break the news? Who's going to break the news? Who's going to break the news? Who's going to break the news?
It really has nothing to do with you. It's more It's more dumbfounded me than anything. Utah guard Donovan Mitchell has been traded.
Oh, wow.
To the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Holy did they get Darius Garland back in the deal?
Nope. They will send Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, and Ochai Agbaji to Utah in a package for Donovan Mitchell.
No picks?
Draft picks are also involved. We just don't know what they are.
There's got to be depending on what the draft pick compensation is on that, I don't know that I hate that for Utah.
I don't hate it. I certainly like it better than we got Quentin Grimes and Obi Toppin. Woo!
Right.
New York Knicks. I feel as though I want to go hug all of you. All of you that pull for that dog water franchise, I want to just go hug you. and tell you it's going to be okay.
Didn't really ever make sense to me. How's New York going to wind up with him? You don't have anything we want. The one thing that we do want, you won't give us.
And now that I'm looking at that Cleveland team's going to be good.
Yeah, they are.
That Cleveland team is going to be good. And you better be really athletic to defend them, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not just going to be good, they're going to be good and fast. I mean, I know it's a football day, but that's a breaking news that you got to talk about.
That's wow. I like it. I think I like it. Donovan Mitchell going to Cleveland. He's going to be that team will be a contender in the East. I don't think up there with Boston, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they will be.
Well, we now know the draft pick compensation.
Okay.
Cleveland will send 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 pick swaps as part of the Donovan Mitchell deal. That is a whole mess.
So now Utah has the 5 first-round draft picks that they got from Minnesota, and they have 3 and 2 pick swaps with Cleveland.
That's 10, because there were pick swaps in the other one too.
Okay.
Well,
if you're looking at the Utah Jazz going, we got these 2 stars, and we really, we really don't know. We might have hit the ceiling with them. What are we going to get back? Okay, well, I think you've done pretty well.
Am I the only one that wants to see a live reaction shot from Mike Conley? Just looking around going, what happened? Where did everybody go? Can you name a starter on that team other than the ones I just said?
No.
Their current starting 5 would be Mike Conley, Bojan Bogdanovic, not that one, Jared Vanderbilt, and Walker Kessler. Shoe buddy. That is taking the Jeremy Greene philosophy of if you're going to be bad, be bad, to a whole new extreme.
Indeed.
Good Lord. That team would lose to the and one guys that I just watched the documentary on. Rafer Alston would cook them like yesterday's breakfast.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be just fine.
If you're going to be bad, be real bad.
Be real bad and have 3 first-round draft picks in every draft from now until 6 years from now.
I would also love to have seen Donovan Mitchell's face when they said, "We have traded you," and he went, "Big Apple, here I come." No, we're going to send you to the city where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is. That's the perk. All right. Bennigan's on a Tuesday. Let's go. Let's go, Cleveland.
Now, I know we talk a lot of smack about Cleveland, but is Cleveland not an upgrade from Salt Lake City?
I am going to have to plead the fifth on that because I don't think I can answer that question in an FCC way.
Okay. I mean, I've never been to either of the cities, but I'm thinking at least on marketing value, Cleveland's a definite upgrade over Salt Lake City.
It is, in a way. Salt Lake City's beautiful. It's an upgrade over Utah. It is a huge downgrade from New York City.
No doubt. But at least going to Cleveland to be a part of a winning team and a team that can contend for at least a conference championship is better than going to New York and still being awful and facing all of that media pressure. Sure, would it have been great to be able to go back home? Because he's from New York, right?
He is, yeah.
So he would have gone back home, but he would have faced all of the pressure from the media and all of that. Yeah. I don't feel like this is a bad deal for Donovan.
David Evans Olson in our YouTube chat said, as someone who lives in Salt Lake City, Cleveland would be a massive upgrade.
There you go. There you go. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Roots and wings. The 2 greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival, September 23rd and 24th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale right now. AXS.com.
Stream it free on the CW app and CWTV.com.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is connecting all of us.
Brought to you by the CW's new hit series, All American Homecoming. Stream every episode now for free, only on the CW app.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We haven't mentioned it in this hour, and I feel like it's time. It's time. If you haven't gotten in on the Battle for the Belt, you need to do so. The link is in the description of our videos on YouTube, also on all of our social medias. The Battle for the Belt, $20 donation gets you in. If you are the winner of the season-long contest, you will take home the Sportsocracy Custom Championship Fantasy Football Belt. Also, a banger of a prize pack that we are putting together with our great sponsors here is worth over $1,000 already, and we intend to add to it throughout the season. So, just because you get in at $1,000, $1,200, whatever the prize pack is worth currently, doesn't mean that's what you're going to be taking home at the end of the season. Is going to be more than that.
Something I need to touch on. Chris D said this in our YouTube comments. I'm not celebrating Tom Brady's sadness. I'm a comedian. That's what I do. And I was saying he has brought me great sadness.
Right.
So if I was going to, but I don't. No, I don't. I don't want bad things to happen. It just makes a lot of things make sense. It makes sense why you won't talk about it, too. Mm-hmm. Because I'll be honest with you, if something's happening in my house, I'm not going to come in here and talk about it.
No, absolutely not.
But I'm not celebrating sadness. It was a joke. Because right. I have long said that he has brought me more sadness than any human in my entire life. Hope that didn't come off that way. I apologize if it did.
So get in on the battle for the belts. Like I say, the link to get in is in the description of our YouTube videos. You can also find it on our social medias. You only have, you got a little over a week. A little over a week to make this happen. We will close down entries to the contest on September the 9th. So that is next Friday, following the opener of the NFL season. Oh, that felt good to say. NFL kicks off next Thursday. You know what else kicks off on a Thursday? College football tonight.
To the place I belong.
Oh, it's going to be so great. Jeremy's picks coming up at the end of the program. We did have some bad news coming out for a team in the NFL today. Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans are one of those teams that we've been looking at going, all right, you were the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs last year. You lost A.J. Brown in the trade to the Philadelphia Eagles. So your offense already took a hit there. How are you going to keep from taking a step back? All right, so other than Derrick Henry, and you may disagree with this, but other than Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown was the best offensive weapon that they had.
No doubt.
I was going to say you might disagree and say he's better than Derrick Henry or a better offensive weapon than Derrick Henry.
No, I won't go that far.
Okay,
I think he's a very dynamic receiver.
All right, so your second best offensive weapon, gone to Philadelphia. Now, possibly your best defensive weapon, gone for the season. Harold Landry suffered a torn ACL in practice. Oh, so bad because the guy just got paid, and he just had a great year last year. Got a 5-year, $87.5 million contract extension earlier this offseason. 12 sacks last year. He was a huge role in the bounce back of that defense. And now they're not going to have him. And you still got Jeffrey Simmons, so that's good. But now it's all on Bud Dupree. Which, Jeremy, would you like to take away the, hey, it's all on Bud Dupree now?
Yeah, that's never worked well in the past. When he's been the only guy, that's never worked well. I'll be honest with you, I would look for Tennessee to make some kind of move. They were really thin at edge rusher anyway. Mm-hmm. And look, I like Rashad Weaver I like him as a situational developmental guy. I don't know that I could count on him for this big of a role.
This was the kid they drafted out of Duke?
Pittsburgh. You're thinking of Adeniji?
Yeah, probably so.
Well, there's Demikeji, Victor Demikeji, that plays for Arizona.
Yeah, that's the guy.
There's only so many. He played at Duke. That limits it to very few.
Right.
But a terrible injury for Tennessee. That's really a painful one. Mm-hmm. Harold Landry doesn't get the flowers that he deserves. But, I mean, on the bright side, you do still have Jeffrey Simmons, most unheralded player in the NFL.
Yes.
So, I mean, to me, it's not a doom and gloom. It's just that hurts. Mm-hmm. And I think that even pushes just a little bit more of a difference between you and the Indianapolis Colts.
I would say so as well. Because now you get into danger zone time. You lose
you're
another
just dangerously thin.
Yeah, you lose another one. Then what do you have? And I don't really care who it is. It could be on offense. It could be on defense. You lose another star player. I mean, we've seen what injuries can do to contending teams. Baltimore Ravens, 2021. Also, the Baltimore Ravens had another injury. Lost another guy for the year.
Are you about to say their mascot?
Their mascot, Poe! Come on. What are we going to do?
They put that out there like, Poe, it's a dude in a suit.
It's a dude in a suit.
I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I don't think it's going to be that hard to find a replacement for him.
Adam Schefter tweeted out earlier today that I loved it because it was in his Adam Schefterism type prose of, yes, he will be gone for the rest of the season. They plan to hold tryouts for a new mascot at some point this week. I don't think it should be too hard to find some Baltimore Ravens fan who can wear that suit.
Yeah, I think they'll be just fine.
Harold Landry, unfortunately, gone for the year for the Tennessee Titans. How does that adjust your prognostication for Tennessee now?
Doesn't move it a game, just really puts a massive onus on a young secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's a team to really keep an eye on to make a move. They have two really young edge rushers on the other side of Bud Dupree. But that's what this week is. You'll see movement. You'll see guys dropped. And like I said, it does not change my win projection for them. It's just another one of those things of the room for error is getting very minimal.
It's almost 4 o'clock on a Thursday. You know what that means. We will do Tar Heel time with Jones Angel coming up after the Sports Center update next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, looking at some gorgeous weather tonight with 50s in the mountains and a nice start to September for us here. We've got some 80s on Friday and then some 70s for the weekend ahead. Looks like rain chances picking up for us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with some half-inch rains late this weekend and early next week for us. So kind of wet and cool into the holiday weekend forecast through Labor Day Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, it's Tuscola at Irwin. The non-conference season continues for both teams as Tuscola looks to get revenge for last year's loss to the Warriors. The Mountaineers have started the season 2-0. Irwin got a big win over Mountain Heritage last week. Can they keep the momentum rolling? We get things started at 6 o'clock with Sports Tank Friday. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show is at 6:30 and the kickoff at 7. The best coverage of high school football is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
I'm Hannah Waddingham, and this is Hustle Rule, an audio docuseries featuring the untold stories of women soccer players around the world. From the streets of Santos, Brazil, to a truck smuggling Afghan refugees bumping along a road in rural Denmark. These are the stories of players willing to risk everything for the game they love. Listen to Hustle Rule on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Won't stop for nobody.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson gets a 5-year contract extension worth $245 million, $165 million guaranteed. That report from ESPN's Adam Schefter. And our Keyshawn Johnson says this deal will help set the market for Lamar Jackson of the Ravens.
Deshaun's deal in Cleveland was an outlier because of the situation in the Cleveland
basically
Browns.
a free agent. Yeah.
So, yeah, they're recorrecting the market. Lamar will come in slightly around $200 million fully guaranteed and not a penny above that.
Keyshawn Johnson on KJ and Max. Adam also reports Titans linebacker Harold Landry III tore an ACL during practice today. He led the team with 12 sacks a year ago and got a new 5-year deal back in March. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Cavaliers make a trade with the Jazz to get Donovan Mitchell. Utah will get Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, Colin Sexton, and 3 unprotected first-round picks in that trade.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy and the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is a 4 o'clock on a Thursday, and it is football season. Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, joining us for Tar Heel time once again. And, week 0 went pretty well for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, Tank, and good to be with you again. You know, Mac Brown said that he felt like it was the perfect opener for his team, and for a couple reasons. Number one, and most importantly, at least when you're talking about football, the Tar Heels won the game. That was the ultimate goal, and they did so with ease, winning by more than 30 points in the contest. You got to see, I think, some of those really young, exciting players, particularly on the offensive side that Carolina has. Drake May and Omarion Hampton and George Pettaway and Gavin Blackwell and Bryson Nesbitt, you know, all these guys had some bright moments in this contest, and you could really see why Carolina is excited about what it has on that side of the ball. But there were also plenty of things that need to get better. You know, Carolina stopped the run pretty effectively defensively, but was just too soft in the secondary and gave up too many passing yards, didn't really allow their talented defensive front to have a chance to get to the quarterback very often, because he was able to get the ball out pretty quickly because he had some receivers open. And so I think Carolina got everything it needed out of that Week 0 game. A win, some experience for younger guys that will play large roles, and some pretty immediate feedback that, Tank, you just can't get until you play somebody else. And so all those things went really well, and that leads up to a game where Carolina understands it's going to have to play better than it did last week to have a chance to win this week as it heads on the road to go see Appalachian State.
Yeah, Florida A&M, the naysayers, or maybe not naysayers, but the ones who are still skeptical about what this Tar Heel team is going to look like will say, yeah, things look great. Yes, Drake May broke all the records. First guy to throw 5 touchdown passes in his debut with the Tar Heels. All of that, but it was a lesser opponent. It was an FCS team, and they were missing 25 guys who were ruled ineligible and all of this. I have heard, I guess, the gambit of buts about that opener. What did you see from Drake?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think first of all, you play who's in front of you, right? So, I mean, Tar Heels can't do anything about who the opponent was or who was available for that opponent. And so they're just going to go out and play who's in front of them on that particular night. So I don't think that carries a ton of weight as far as the Tar Heels are concerned, because they just did what they needed to do, and that's play the team that was in front of them. But I do think for Drake May in particular, not just the stats to me were impressive, Tank, and you mentioned the 5 touchdowns and 294 yards, and he rushed for more than 50 yards. All those things are really, really good. I thought what was more impressive to me were 2 things. One, the fact that he distributed the ball the way that he did. That was such a major story and major problem for Carolina's offense last year, is that they had an All-America receiver, of course, in Josh Downs, who's one of the best receivers in the country. And yet they could never find the consistency at other positions offensively, and whether that was the connection with the quarterback wasn't there, whether that was guys weren't getting open, whatever it was, there just wasn't a lot of diversity in Carolina's passing game a season ago. It was a whole lot of Josh Downs, and he's capable of that because of how good he is. But he has the ability to be better, and Carolina is better when it's moving the ball to different guys. And so with 10 players getting a catch, 7 of them had 2 or more catches. I just thought Carolina's offense was more dangerous and diverse because of that. And you saw, for example, the tight end position get really heavily involved in the pass game. There were 8 receptions between 3 different tight ends, with Bryson Nesbitt having 4, Kamari Morales pulled in 2, John Copenhaver had 2. The 3 of those guys combined for more than 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So just an example of Carolina's better diversity in the pass game. And that doesn't mean Josh Downs isn't going to get the ball. He still had the most targets on the team with 12 and the most catches with 9. And so he can still be heavily effective and heavily used while getting other guys involved. So I thought that was impressive from May. And then the other thing is nothing that you can necessarily, quantify with a number, but I just thought Drake May looked comfortable in what he was doing. He never seemed, after the first couple of minutes, I did think, he threw a good deep ball down the sideline on his first pass that probably should have been caught by J.J. Jones, but he wasn't able to bring it in. And so there was maybe a little bit of nerves, I thought, early from May, but as soon as he had a long run, he ran a 42-yarder into the red zone, and it felt like from that moment on, he just seemed very comfortable in what he was doing and wasn't flustered, wasn't rushed. It was mobile in the pocket, both to run and to keep plays alive, to continue so he could throw it. He just seemed like somebody who had been doing this at this level a lot more than this being his first start. And even how he handled himself after the game, he was probably the least impressed of anybody of what happened. And so that kind of stuff, I think, is what really makes you excited, because there's no question. I mean, Drake May's 6'5", and he can run and he can throw. I mean, the stuff that you can't necessarily teach is already there. And now he is bringing in some of these intangibles as well. That certainly makes you excited for what Drake May can do moving forward at that spot.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. And I heard I don't remember who it was, but I heard some podcaster talking about the Carolina game, and it was one of the college football podcasts, and he was talking about how he doesn't believe that Drake May is going to be that much of a step back from Sam Howell. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know that's a lot to put on a kid immediately, but the last time I fell in love with a quarterback, a freshman Carolina quarterback, it was Sam Howell, and I was pretty pleased with what I saw from him over his tenure in Chapel Hill. So Drake, obviously, with the big start, you saw a lot of great things, and I agree with you. I think he looked poised, he looked comfortable, he was making tight window throws. I think it was a great step in the right direction. But now this week comes a bit of a different challenge. You got to go on the road, go to Kid Brewer Stadium to take on Appalachian State, who is not, the unknown program that it once was.
No, absolutely. And I will say one thing about Drake May and Sam Howell before talking about this weekend's game. And, I think, first of all, Sam Howell proved it for 3 years and threw for more than 10,000 yards. He's Carolina's leader all time in yardage and in touchdowns. And so, I mean, he has his resume is established, and it's impressive. And Carolina would not have been able to have been as successful as it was early in Mack Brown's tenure without Sam Howell. There is absolutely no question about that. One area where Drake May does have a natural advantage is just his size. I mean, he's 6'5", and Sam Howell is a lot of things, but super tall is not one of them. And so to have a quarterback that does have that kind of just God-given physical ability and size, I do think that is a difference maker and something that could really be a benefit for Drake May moving forward. Now, for this weekend, absolutely. I mean, this is a huge challenge, and I think, and understandably so, a lot of the attention on this game has been the relevance for Appalachian, right? The fact that Carolina's going there for the first time, that it's a good time to put a spotlight on App's program, which has been terrific. And the fact that it did not just was it a FCS power, but made about as smooth a transition to the FBS level as any program has over the last decade plus. And so, now they are a team that is very consistent in their conference. They're a team that is very difficult to beat at home. They have, and when they've been given the opportunity, they've competed well against bigger schools and Power 5 type teams, including beating the Tar Heels, of course, a couple years ago. So there's no doubt, and understandably again, that the lead up to this game has been a lot about Appalachian. I do think this game also provides a really good opportunity for Carolina, and most notably in the fact that for the Tar Heels to be the type of team and program that they want to be and that they feel like they are building towards, they have to be more consistent on the road. They just do. They weren't bad, but not great the first 2 years that Mack Brown was here on the road. they were a little bit above 500 and had some nice wins, but also had some games that they wanted to have back. But, the last time Carolina won away from Kenan Stadium was when Javonte Williams and Michael Carter ran all over Miami at the end of the 2020 season. That's a long time ago. They've lost 7 consecutive games away from Kenan. That's 5 true road games and 2 neutral site games. And you're not going to be a top 25 program, a top 15 program, whatever, if you can't win away from home. And so for Carolina, I think this provides them a really quality opportunity with a good young team that the Heels seem to have, with plenty of things to work on, but a good young team to go on the road and face a team that is a quality opponent that plays well at home. And there'll be a tremendous atmosphere. Kid Brewer Stadium, they list the capacity at 30,000. The general acceptance is that there's going to be between 40 and 45,000 at this game. It'll be one of the wilder scenes that App's ever had, if not the wildest. Tickets have been sold out since July, in large part because the Tar Heels are coming. They sold out their season tickets for the first time ever because the Tar Heels were on the schedule. And so it is going to be a big deal. And so for Carolina, the Tar Heels have to be able to manage that situation and not get caught up in what's happening outside the game. And if the Tar Heels just play inside the game and between the lines, then they'll have a chance to win. If they get caught up in everything else, it's going to be a long afternoon.
Appalachian State likes to run the ball. They've got a two-headed monster, double impact at running back. They can shove the ball down your throat on the ground. And they bring back Chase Bryce, who was once an ACC quarterback.
Yeah, this is the third time Carolina's seen Chase Bryce at 3 different schools. This is in his 6th year. He was on the sideline with Clemson. He didn't play in that game in 2019, but he was the backup quarterback to Trevor Lawrence that year. Then was the starter for Duke in 2020 and did not play particularly well against Carolina that year in a pretty dominant Tar Heel victory in Durham, and now has been at App last season and this season. This is Bryce's 6th year. And there are a lot of guys on Appalachian that are 5th and 6th-year players that are taking advantage of that extra season of eligibility that was afforded to all Division I athletes due to the COVID season. And so this is a mature team. And you referenced some of the positions offensively that App is good and old. Now, they did lose their top 4 receivers from a year ago, and certainly, as Carolina saw last season, that's difficult to replace, even if you have good players coming in and filling those roles. It's just hard to automatically be able to replace that type of production. But they do have 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive line back. You mentioned the 2 running backs, Nate Noel and Cameron Peoples. Those 2 guys combined for more than 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns a season ago. Those are impressive numbers. And so Carolina is going to have to be ready to stop the run. The Tar Heels will need to run the football. They did it really well last week, more than 300 yards on the ground, held Florida A&M to just 56. Probably not going to have that type of swing this week, but Carolina would like to be as dominant as it can be in that area. And I do think that'll be an important marker as far as which team is able to be successful this weekend.
Have we heard an update on Tony Grimes? How's his health doing? Is he going to be able to go?
Right, so Tony Grimes knocked out of the ball game early. It was just the second drive, defensive possession, if you will, for the Tar Heels last week. And Carolina announced earlier this week that both Tony Grimes and Josh Downs, who was shaken up a little bit at the end of the ball game against Florida A&M as well, that both of those guys would be evaluated throughout the week, and that continues. Carolina's leaving tomorrow to drive over to Boone. They're staying. Actually, it's only the second time I can remember, Tank, that Carolina's actually having to split the travel party in 2 different hotels because there's just not enough room at the first one. So there's a hotel in Banner Elk where the Tar Heels are staying, and then another in North Wilkesboro where some others are staying. So, and of course, the secondary hotel, that's mostly support staff, et cetera. The team itself will all be together at the one closer to Boone. So they're leaving tomorrow for that, and they'll continue to evaluate both Tony Grimes and Josh Downs as they lead up to this ball game coming up on Saturday. So no decision officially has been made yet on those guys.
How did you feel? We talked a lot about the offense, but How did you feel about the defense and how it looked when this, this initial voyage in the comeback of Gene Chizik?
Yeah, a couple things. Obviously Carolina gave up too many passing yards last week. Yeah, gave up too many yards in the air. I mentioned they did a great job versus the run game, but Carolina did not feel like it played very well in the pass game. And there's a lot of reasons why, and they're going to sound like excuses, but I do think they are some reasons why Carolina did not perform the way that it really wanted to. One was the fact that Grimes was out, and so I do think that's a difference maker there when you have a very talented player at the corner position who does not play past the second defensive effort of the ball game. So certainly that affected things. That right now, just due to injury, is a position anyway for Carolina that's a little thin, with Day-Day Hollins still trying to work his way back from a torn ACL from a year ago. Legend Cavazos, the transfer from Ohio State, was not available for this past week. Good news on that front. Mac Brown saying in the middle of the week this week that Cavazos is back practicing and is getting closer and closer to being available. So that'll be good for Carolina to have another capable player at that position. And so I think that was part of it. I think that the Tar Heels they knew who the quarterback was going to be because Florida A&M said it halfway through the week. But Florida A&M pretty dramatically changed the way they played offense with that quarterback change. And so I think Carolina went into that game a little bit in the dark as far as what they were going to see. And you saw that some, I think, particularly early, where the Tar Heels were trying to just react to what was happening and try their best to keep Florida A&M in front of them a little bit. And then also, I just think the Tar Heels did not play great, particularly in the first half defensively. I think they felt like there was just too much space given to receivers. And it's interesting, Tank, because leaving that game, I thought, man, I thought the Tar Heel defensive front would get more pressure, and they got 3 sacks in the game. But in talking to the coaches this week, they were pretty pleased with what the defensive front did, and they felt like they got decent to very good pressure and felt like had they had some better coverage on the back end, even if we're just talking 1-2 seconds more of coverage ability on the backside, they felt like the pressure they were providing up front would have been much more effective. And so it all works together, of course. Maybe you don't even need that extra second or two if you're just having an excellent day up front. But Carolina felt like the secondary was the spot that needs to dramatically improve as this year goes along, and certainly you want to see some great improvement from week 1 to week 2.
Well, it is going to be, as we said, a different type of a challenge this week on the road, up in Boone to take on Appalachian State. Tar Heels in town, and it's all going to kick off at 12 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. You will hear it right here on ESPN Asheville with Jones Angel, Dave Nathan, and the rest of the crew there with the Tar Heel Sports Network. Jones, we always appreciate you taking out the time for us. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good, Tank. Talk to you soon.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. When we come back, hey, do you have all of your fantasy eggs in baskets already this year? You shouldn't, especially if you're not in on the battle for the belt. We'll tell you more about that. Plus, we'll start talking about some sleepers for the college football season coming up.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 26 westbound west of Hendersonville Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 eastbound between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. 40 westbound light delays between the Smuggy Park Highway and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sandhill Road to Pond Road, delays. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road, delays. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
The Night Race. It's as American as Uncle Sam deadlifting 350 while drinking a Busch Light outside his camper in a national park. It's as American as Earnhardt rattling Terry's cage. It's the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? Be there September 17th. Go to BristolMotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone. Can I get a hell yeah?
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
O'Reilly Auto Parts provides more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also offer free check engine light diagnosis. We can scan your vehicle and provide a list of possible fixes. Find the right parts for you or recommend a great local repair shop. Don't ignore your check engine light. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Black Mountain, get ready to rock. Dark City Rock Fest, presented by Elite Events and Promotions, is coming to Silverados Saturday, September 17th, starring Saving Abel. $20 in advance, 25 day of show, and a portion of the proceeds will go to United Way, Dark City Rock Fest with Saving Abel. Saturday, September 17th at SilveradosWNC.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
Welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville and the battle for the belt. We want to get as many people involved in the battle for the belt, not just because we love our audience and we love competing with you and interacting with you and all of that, but because at the heart of all of this is we're, as Jeremy likes to say, we're very slotty, like his fantasy football teams, for charity. And we want to make sure that we can give as much as possible to the Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project this year. And the Battle for the Belt is your way to do that, your way to help us out. $20 donation gets you into the contest. If you are the season-long winner, you, of course, get the custom-made championship belt. You will get the big prize pack that we plan on adding even more to throughout the season, but it's already over $1,000 in value. The winner will take all of that. We will have gift cards as well to give out to the winners of our individual leagues.
It's a two-level contest.
Yes.
So there are the entry gets you into a best ball league, of which the draft times are up on Facebook now. So you go pick out your draft time. We'll stack you together that way. If you win that, gives you bonus points in the DFS contest, plus you win a prize pack from us.
Mm-hmm.
The big battle for the belt is a season-long DFS contest. No matter what you do, you pick your own roster every week. So if somebody gets hurt, it does not put you out of the contest. Doesn't matter. Lather up, do it next week.
Right.
It is going to be a lot of fun. I am sending out the email link tonight to the email addresses. If I don't have your email address, you might want to send that to me.
Mm-hmm.
I realized there were a couple people that did not have theirs on their entry. So if you have not sent that in, I am going to need that. But season long in DFS, going to be a great time. I am so excited for this contest.
We also have a spot for you in the contest if you cannot afford the $20 donation. Right now, we do have 10 open spots. 5 were donated by one of our good friends.
The Dude Takes podcast, Mr. Zach Sawyer. And we matched that and donated 5 as well.
Indeed. So you can get in on the contest even if you just can't really scrape it together right now. So let us know. Reach out to Jeremy at thesportsocracy.com. He will make sure everything gets connected. You could email me, but I'll just pass it on to him. So there's no need to do that. Just send it to Jeremy at thesportsocracy.com, and we will hook you up. We want you to be involved in this as well. So again, the battle for the belt, get in on it now, and of course, help us out, making sure that as many kids as possible around our area have a very good Christmas with the Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. My life has changed so much since last football season. I've been thinking about just where I was at this time last year. Football season, September rolled around, and it was just the same old, same old. It's completely different this year. I have lost 90 pounds since last football season started on the PhD weight loss program. They have taught me how to shed the weight, do it quickly. And I'll be honest with you, they give me a convenient program that I can follow. I enjoy the food, and I have seen amazing results.
I did not have the tremendous amount of weight to lose, but I was an athletic person younger in my life, and lazy bad decisions with food and life had put me in a place where I wasn't nearly as active as I was. I was having problems sleeping, and my back had begun to hurt. Just over half a year on this program, I'm back to my high school weight. I feel better than I have in years, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
And like I said, they teach you how to stay away from the things that are going to make you get bigger. They want to help you collapse the visceral fat, and there are ways that you can still enjoy the football season and the snacking and all of that. They just teach you a better way to live. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. We're talking college football sleepers, plus we'll get weird right after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, looking at some gorgeous weather tonight with 50s in the mountains and a nice start to September for us here. We've got some 80s on Friday and then some 70s for the weekend ahead. Looks like rain chances picking up for us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with some half-inch rains late this weekend and early next week for us. So kind of wet and cool into the holiday weekend forecast through Labor Day Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slow between Bavard Road and the French Broad River. Light delays 40 westbound between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound between US 276 and Fines Creek Road. North of Clyde, an accident west of exit 20, Jonathan Creek Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road delays. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. And summer with up to $300 off the XPS with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
There's a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines, and everyone has an opinion. So I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. Go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
My story today reminds me of god-awful times. God-awful times where, you know, one of my least favorite things to do is yard work. That's why when me and my wife bought our house, we bought a house with the smallest yard I have ever seen because I just didn't want to do it anymore. I know Jeremy loves yard work.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, you catch me. Sometimes I mow other people's yards.
He loves being outside. He loves sweating out in the sun. It's just one of his favorite things to do. But here's the thing. I have a thing about heights. I can't do like tree trimming and stuff. So this story, when I saw it, it came to me out of a nightmare. Because one of the things that Jeremy would always make fun of me for after doing yard work at the bigger yards was every time I mowed the yard, I got stung by a bee. Somehow, some way, yellow jacket, honeybee, it didn't matter. I was getting stung. Well, this guy did not have a good day. This past weekend, 20-year-old Austin Bellamy up in Ohio, he was trying to help out his grandma, and they were trying to trim some trees. He was up in a lemon tree, trimming branches. Everything was going okay until he made that one cut that he should not have made. He cut into a bee's nest, and he was up on the ladder, trapped, could not get down. The bees swarmed him, and this guy was stung 20,000 times. Sadly, Austin Bellamy is in a medically induced coma right now at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. However, his doctors do say they expect him to make a full recovery. But can you imagine 20,000 times? That's a lot of bees. The grandma and the uncle were on the ground spotting him while he was up on the ladder. They said they tried, or they wanted to get up the ladder to try to rescue this guy, but what do bees do? When they're threatened, they swarm the most immediate thing, and then they swarm everything else that they can find in the vicinity. So they were swarmed by bees on the ground as well. Couldn't get up there to help him. It was thanks to a hero firefighter in their town that was able to get him down, revive him, get him to the hospital, and he is going to make, like I said, a full recovery after being stung 20,000 times. That's insanity.
If you really don't like lawyers, my story is not going to help you like them more until the end.
Okay.
A video of Robert McKenna III, he is a Huntington Beach trial attorney, just went viral. He was defending a doctor named Asim Qureshi in a $10 million civil lawsuit. Apparently, Mr. Qureshi was negligent in a death that happened under his care. Well, they had a trial. The lawyer, Mr. McKenna, they found him not guilty. So they're not culpable, all the things. Well, a problem happened. Mr. McKenna went back to his law firm and started gloating. Well, the problem is somebody recorded him. He was recorded as saying a guy that was probably negligently killed, but we kind of made it look like other people did it. And we actually had a death certificate that said he died the very way the plaintiff said he died. And we had to say, no, you really shouldn't believe what the death certificate says. Or the coroner from Orange County. Overcoming these hurdles, we managed to sock 3 lawyers in the face. And then someone rings a victory bell.
Oh, they hit the Kevin Vick Memorial Bell.
See, here's the problem with that, though. When this video came out, a high-priced attorney saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And he went, there's a thing about civil cases. Double jeopardy is not a thing.
Right.
So they said, you know what? If we get another trial, I will represent the family free of charge. And this is apparently a hammer lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't take him long to go to Orange County Superior Court Judge James Crandall and get him to throw out the original lawsuit.
Oh.
So the victory is gone because your stupid lawyer started bragging on a video in the office and somebody recorded it. Now, it's not a $10 million lawsuit. It's a $25 million lawsuit. Looks like maybe you spiked the football too early.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk.
How can we get that? How can we get that taken out? Can we get that stricken from the record? No.
Nope.
Nope.
Not
gonna happen.
Can't. See, that's the thing about social media. When it goes out there, there's no reeling it back.
Wow. Just be careful. That's the thing about doing business. You got to make sure that everybody who's in your business, in your employ, you're keeping those people happy because they can get dirt on you various amounts of ways.
And the video is horribly damning.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, they're celebrating like it is at New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
They got what really got them was that they out loud admitted, oh, yeah, he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he did it.
And it becomes even sleazier when you think back to there's a dead guy at the center.
100%.
Right, that's the crux of this case. There is someone dead because of what this doctor did, and now the lawyer's taking victory laps in the office like that.
Somebody ran for president one time that did the exact same thing. Won't tell you who that is, but Google it.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and here in the Sportsocracy, we have, we have something that I don't feel like too many other shows have.
2 fat guys talking about sports.
Well, there's that. But I was thinking about Flostradamus. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I hate to puff up your ego here, but you're pretty good at this thing. Finding teams that are going to be, make you a little money during the college football, NFL season. So when we're talking sleepers for college football in 2022, who's the first team that comes to your mind?
It's not even close. And I really hate to tip a pick for tomorrow, but I'm gonna. It's Hog Pig Suey. It's Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas I don't think people understand, that was not a good roster. They came out last year and did things that were at least a year ahead of schedule. Well, the thing about that is you got meaningful reps for guys that are going to play this year. You have weapons. Your offensive line is made up of 5 guys that I feel very sure have flipped tractor tires at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a big, scary team that nobody seems to want to talk about. I'm not telling you they're going to win the SEC, but they're a complete afterthought. If you look at the money in Vegas, they play Cincinnati on Saturday. In Razorback Stadium, 6.5-point favorite. What does that tell you? Cincinnati's pretty good. They were there last year. And now I know you lost Desmond Ridder, you lost Jerome Ford, you lost a lot of other pieces.
Right.
Still a talented team. When Vegas throws out 7 points on a team that no one is talking about, that means they're scared of one kind of bettor. Me. They're scared that people like me are going to look at this and go, oh, yeah. Oh, that's to me, the easiest pick of the weekend. Like I said, I hate to give it out early. That's the easiest pick of the weekend, and it's not all that close.
And you like them throughout the season as well?
I like them season long to be one of the most irritating teams that you could possibly have to deal with. Open the season, Cincinnati, South Carolina, Missouri State. Guess what? All three of them are in Arkansas. All three of them are 3 wins, and I don't think any of the 3 of them are within 10 points. Then you go to Texas A&M. If you've listened to this show for any period of time, you know that I trust Jimbo Fisher about as much as I trust birds and sashimi. And they don't have a quarterback. That's one. There's no line on it yet. I know what I project it will be. I like Arkansas. I don't care where it is. Yeah, Alabama, it's at Arkansas. That's the one positive I can say here. Now, talent for talent, you can't keep up with Alabama.
Of course.
But I look at the rest of that schedule going, I don't know where you're supposed to lose.
Mississippi State, BYU, Auburn, Liberty, LSU.
Now, the bad thing is 3 of those games are on the road. They go a whole month where they do not play a game in Arkansas. Ole Miss is in Arkansas. I don't think you're going to come in there and beat them. That's one of my favorites in the nation that I just look at and go, why is nobody talking about this team? They lost virtually nothing.
Because they're not in the picture. They're not in the championship picture.
They're not, but I could see them being much closer than you think. And if you remember, I said the exact same thing last year.
You did.
I said the exact, what were they, 4.5, I think was their over-under in wins.
Something like that.
I remember they hit it in before November was over. Might have had several little tickets that said Arkansas over 4.5.
Right.
There's another one in that same conference, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why nobody talks about them. It's LSU.
Because you don't know. I mean, you know.
What don't you know?
You don't know how good this team is going to be. You saw last year, I mean, obviously coaching helps. Coaching helps. You had Ed Orgeron leading this team last year who had given up.
Go Tigers.
After all of the scandal and uncertainty, and you had guys quitting in the middle of the season. Just, I'm injured. I'm going to sit out for the draft. I don't feel like that's going to happen this year. Because now you have Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly, obviously a huge upgrade from Ed Orgeron as the head coach.
I just love this narrative. I just love that's exactly what I was hoping you were going to say. I love this narrative that Ed Orgeron left the cupboard bare. They don't have the players. Have you looked at where this team finished in recruiting year over year? 2021, 3rd. 2020, 4th. 2019, 5th. I don't think the cupboard's bare. He was literally, LSU was out recruiting the Notre Dame team that he just left. And I understand he went to Baton Rouge and all of a sudden developed some goofy accent that makes Nick Cage and Con Air sound like, I don't know how to finish that. I had 4 thoughts and none of them were good. I mean, I get that the accent's goofy. Right. They're going to house my Florida State Seminoles on Sunday. I mean, house them.
I don't see any way around it.
But you ran for 400 yards. Yeah, on Duquesne, who I was Sunday years old when I found out they had a football team. I look at that number. Do you know what the number on that game is?
No.
This screams to me how little respect LSU's actually getting. Florida State's not good. I'm a booster. If anybody was going to be overly nice, it would be me. It's LSU minus 3.
That's it?
I could see them winning this game by 3 touchdowns. And it's in New Orleans. There's just this belief that, well, Brian Kelly, it's going to take some time. What's going to take time? He's won everywhere he's ever gone. And I could argue this is one of the most talented teams he's ever had. He won at Notre Dame. How many offensive skill guys have you seen come out of Notre Dame in the last 10 years?
Not many.
Oh, by the way, he's an offensive guy. I understand the defense was less than ideal. It's because the entire program incinerated in the middle of last year. I don't get it, and I don't think I'm ever going to. I've seen people have them behind Auburn. Stop talking.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
Right.
Insane. And in our YouTube comments, I said, Rob Johnson threw out, Brian Kelly can't win the big games. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that's not true. I'm also going to say what you're referring to was at Notre Dame. And be real honest, look at that schedule. How many big games you actually got?
Mm-hmm.
They don't play a game in the first half of the year that they should not be a touchdown or higher favorite until they play Tennessee, and that's in Baton Rouge, and will probably be at night. And yet they're just a complete afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
Not every team has to be a national title contender for them to be worth talking about.
Right.
And that's a team that I just look at and go, you are going to be a headache all year long.
And the question is, can they get close? Can they get close to contending in year one with Brian Kelly?
I would say they start 6-0. Then you have to go to Florida, which is going to be tougher than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Because by then you're going to have Anthony Richardson on the right page. You'll have Billy Napier that is just light years better of a coach than Dan Mullen ever was. Where you get into the pivot is what happens when you go Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas.
Whew. And then you get UAB, and then you have Texas A&M to follow that up. The back end of that schedule is going to be brutal.
It's daunting. It's daunting. But I don't think you're at a huge disadvantage to Ole Miss or Arkansas. I don't think you're at a huge disadvantage to Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep saying this. You do get that they don't have a quarterback, right? Max Johnson was their best hope, and he's the backup. Jimbo Fisher, the great Sasquatch of great coaches, had that 1 year at Florida State, and what does that make him, $200 million?
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Who else is Jeremy going to be relying on to make him some cash this upcoming season? That's coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
240 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound crawling between I-40 and the French Broad River due to an accident. 26 on the westbound side stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound near US 276 traffic is slowing. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between Arden and Long Shoals Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound is slow between the Royal Pines area and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. And summer with up to $300 off the XPS with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
This is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup sound experiment. We're looking to find the perfect way to hear Reese's so you'll buy more of them. Here we go. Reese's. 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 Hey, get out of here, you little stinker.
Reese's.
Reese's. Reese's.
Peanut Butter Cups. That breathy one sounded very creepy, am I right?
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
What's better than the long weekend? Kohl's budget-boosting deals on denim. I got myself jeans for $19.99, 40% off Levi's for my son. Even my husband found a pair for 30% off. Plus, because I spent over $25, I got $10 off. And earned Kohl's Cash. More style, more savings. Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end September 5th. Levi's coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Who's Jeremy going to make all his money on this year? Kansas State has long been one of your favorite upsetters.
Every year I find teams that I just fall in love with.
Liberty.
Oh,
made
Liberty.
A lot of money on Liberty.
Oh, Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze bought me a car. I'm reasonably sure of it. Now this year, he's probably not going to fall into that trap again.
With Liberty?
Although they have a transfer quarterback as well. It's not Malik Willis, but not bad.
Right. So you've already given us Arkansas, LSU. Who else can be considered a sleeper, a team nobody's talking about that will make an impact in college football?
This is going to be a little counterintuitive, and you'll know why at the end of this program. Nobody talks about Oklahoma State.
True.
They were oppressive defensively last year, and they return a ton. Yeah, they lost the signal caller in Malcolm Rodriguez. I get that. But the defense is still good. The offense, it's a work in progress. But I've heard absolutely no talk about them and none about Baylor, other than Desmond Howard. Yeah. Who's completely out of his mind.
Well, they're just not sexy programs.
And that's the thing. That's for people like me, I love a program that is a ham sandwich. Nothing sexy about it. Nobody talks about it. Because what's going to happen with that? Nobody appreciates it. Which means lines are going to move. That's how I made all the money on Kansas State. It's in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knew who Chris Kleiman was, and so nobody talks about him. They didn't fail to cover a number more than, I think, 3 or 4 times in a year and a half.
Wow.
I'm not telling you they're good. They're fine. But those are programs that you really nest on. And I will be honest, now that I'm looking at Baylor's schedule, I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. I actually understand how Desmond Howard threw them in the playoff. I don't know who they're supposed to lose to.
Well, Oklahoma and Texas come to mind.
And both of those are on the road. I don't have Texas nearly as I apparently do not think of that program nearly as rosy as everybody else does.
That's most overrated college football program of all time.
And Oklahoma, we all know how I feel about them. Brent Venables is just going to come in and set everything on fire. Frankly, I will be shocked if they don't make a bowl game.
Oh, come on.
That was okay.
I was getting ready to say.
All right, I went a little farther.
Come on, you still just because you lost your best players to USC.
All of them.
You didn't lose all of them. You didn't lose all of them.
Well, they couldn't play dead in the Western defensively anyway.
Which is why there's hope that Brent Venables will cure that. But what are you going to do on offense? That's my question.
I hope Dylan Gabriel is using the same locker that Caleb Williams did. Maybe some of that talent hung around in there.
Maybe using some of the same substances that Fernando Tatis did.
No, that's crimes. You don't want people to do crimes.
I don't. We don't encourage doing crimes here. So, okay.
In our daily draft
today,
we're going to draft our CFP busters.
Yes.
We are both dead in the wind. We are locked in on 4 teams.
Yes. It's Alabama and Ohio State, Georgia, and Clemson.
Well, your Clemson is my USC.
Yeah, you've got USC. I'm just not so sure that that's going to go that way.
Tell me how it doesn't.
I don't know.
See, that's where logic comes in of, okay, all right, because I get railed on about this USC thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my immediate response is, look at their schedule and tell me who they're supposed to lose to.
Mm-hmm.
At Utah. Okay, I don't agree with you, but I'll give you that one. And then
Oregon.
They don't play Oregon.
Oh, well.
They would have to play them in the conference title game, and I don't believe in Oregon as much as you do.
Right.
The fact that Oregon is ranked ahead of them is one of the more comically stupid things I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
You brought in a defensive head coach from across the country to play in the Pac-12. All right. Man, I'm sure he's a fine guy, and I'm sure he's a fine coach. That fit never made a lick of sense to me. And I have a funny feeling you're going to see very quickly what I see.
Could Lincoln Riley run the table in the Pac-12 in his first season? It's just a lot. It's just a lot to ask for in year one. Not saying it won't happen, but it could. So, coming up after the Sports Center update, Daily Draft, we'll be talking about who could break in to the college football playoff.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, looking at some gorgeous weather tonight with 50s in the mountains and a nice start to September for us here. We've got some 80s on Friday and then some 70s for the weekend ahead. Looks like rain chances picking up for us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with some half-inch rains late this weekend and early next week for us. So kind of wet and cool into the holiday weekend forecast through Labor Day Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
240 westbound slow between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound crawling between I-40 and the French Broad River due to an accident. 26 on the westbound side stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound near US 276 traffic is slowing. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between Arden and Long Shoals Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound is slow between the Royal Pines area and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Breaking news from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. The Cleveland Cavaliers get guard Donovan Mitchell in a trade with the Jazz. Utah will get Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, Colin Sexton, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson will get a 5-year, $245 million extension. And ESPN's Stephen A. Smith says the Broncos had to get this done.
You know you can depend on him. You know you can trust him. You know he knows how to act and conduct himself. You know he knows how to lead. You combine that with his level of production, and then you take into account the absence of production you've had from the quarterback position. Since Peyton Manning retired, there is nothing to talk about.
Stephen A. Smith on First Take. Schefter also reports the Titans will sign wideout Josh Gordon to their practice squad. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports tight ends running back Derrick Henry will get a restructured deal that'll pay him $14 million this year, including a $9 million signing bonus.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
If I'm Lamar, I'm saying 250. I need it fully guaranteed.
Not going to happen. They are now recorrecting the quarterback market.
It's Friday with KJ and Max. It all starts at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword WIN to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WIN to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and locally, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 third hour of the program on what is officially game day. College football begins in earnest tonight, week 1, kicking off at 7 o'clock with the Backyard Brawl.
To the place I belong.
West Virginia Mountaineers and the Pittsburgh Panthers, and the other big headliner game of tonight will be the Purdue Boilermakers. Taking on Penn State, the Nittany Lions.
I have a definitive lean.
Purdue at home, too.
I have a definitive lean in one of those games. I am still weighing whether I am going to let my heart or my head pick the other.
All of Jeremy's banger picks, the green on green and the 5 on it, we're going to shove it all together at the end of the hour here. So stick with us for that.
Tomorrow, we will have 3 full gambling segments in this show.
Oh, it's going to be great.
And I have got some underdogs. Shoe buddy. I may break my own record for the highest number I have ever laid.
Okay. Interesting. You'll have to stick around tomorrow. All 3 hours for the bet and picks. Plus, we're going to have a lot of fun just previewing the weekend action that is finally here.
It's so good. And the first night getting my West Virginia Mountaineers with Graham Harrell. We might actually be able to score points for the first time in... when did Clinton go out of office? I think it was about then.
First time since the Bowden years?
First time since the Pat White, Steve Slayton years.
Oh, those were
good times.
Those were good. Those were that was Rich Rod, wasn't it?
That was Rich Rod.
And then it all went south when he left. Anyhow, daily draft time. We always kick off the 3rd hour of the program with our daily draft. And today, since we were just talking about college football sleepers and who Jeremy's, maybe banking on to make a little bank this year, it's good to talk about the college football playoff. And look, I made fun of Desmond Howard yesterday for making his outlandish picks on the College Game Day program last week when he said that he thought that Baylor and Pitt and Michigan and Texas A&M were going to be in the Final Four.
In fairness, there's only one of those that's really a spicy selection. Now, not having the big boys, that's the spicy part.
Of course, not having Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia, because I feel like we're all going into this season with those 3 teams already locked in. At least I am.
I mean, Baylor is plus 12-5 to win the national title, so I guess that is a little spicy.
I don't know that I really see a path for those 3 teams to not be in the college football playoff, because the 3 of them combined, I will be surprised if they have 4 losses.
That would be shocking to me.
You will have one of them out of the SEC, more than likely, will be undefeated. Because I could fully see a path where Alabama and Georgia are undefeated going into the SEC championship game.
And then none of it matters. You're both making it. It's just a question of who's the 1 and who's the 3.
Exactly. Ohio State, who's going to stand in their way into Big Ten? Your guess is as good as mine.
And that was a big part of the way I'm looking at this. For us to say that you can be a party crasher there has to be a path for you to do that. Since I won yesterday, I have the number one pick. And there is only but one that I look at and go, this makes 100% sense. So they will be my number one pick. That is Utah.
Ah, the Utah Utes.
If you're going to make this, you're almost going to have to win your conference.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's just a second team out of the SEC, which I'm sure we will have several of those before this is all said and done. So you're going to have to find the way that one of those, Alabama or Georgia, doesn't make it. Or you can just go the path less traveled and say, well, you had USC.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Utah beats USC. They're as impressive as I think they are, and then they beat them again. Utah would then be in the playoff.
Right.
Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's anything that Clemson could do that would keep them out. Clemson, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, you go on down the line. If that were to happen, it's possible. This Utah team is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Then in theory, that would put them right there as the 4, and they would just get demolished by whoever it was they played from the SEC.
And according to our good friends over at betus.com, Utah is plus 5,000 to win the title.
And now that sounds like a lot until you realize that every team not Alabama, Ohio State, or Georgia is at least 1,000 or higher.
Yes.
Including Clemson and USC. Plus 1,800. It's easy money. Sorry. I had a frog.
It's not easy money. You got to win the championship to do that. And you think USC can hang with the 3 favorites?
I think they're very, very good. I mean, very, 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 very good.
We know they'll be good offensively. My question is defensively.
That would obviously come into a problem in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a problem through the 12 games of the regular season.
It's really
Which
not.
gives you 13 grab-took-us games to figure out exactly how you're supposed to play defense.
Yeah, but also gives you a lot of opportunity for you to lose your best players through injury.
Also true.
Which is always a risk. I mean, would Alabama have won the national championship last year had John Mechie not gotten hurt? We don't know the answer to that. But it didn't hurt Georgia in any way that John Mechie was not available for that game.
And now I feel like the parameter of this should be you can't take the fourth team that I have and I can't take yours.
Yes, Clemson, USC.
All the 5 that we have said are going to make it, they're off the board.
Yes.
Everybody else is still available.
Yes. I will.
I just feel like that would be cheap for me to go, Clemson.
Yeah,
you
because
can't
I would take
them.
USC.
Of course you would.
I would 100% take USC. All right, so my first pick of a team that could break into the college football playoff and kind of spoil the party for the 5 teams that Jeremy and I both have in the college football playoff. This is not going to be super spicy by any means, but I am a big believer in their head coach. I'm going to take the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And that hurts my soul to do that because I've always been the Notre Dame naysayer. But all I'm talking about is getting into the playoff. And I look at that schedule and go, okay, so you're going to have to beat USC, which is tough. You're going to lose to Ohio State right out the gate.
And see, to me, I'll be honest with you.
That eliminates
we could have gone 10 picks here. I would never have taken Notre Dame.
No, because I could see a path where Clemson stumbles, Texas A&M's got a couple of losses, and maybe USC.
You
finds
also
a way
seem to be
up.
overlooking the fact that they have to play Clemson and USC. I think they get absolutely eviscerated in all 3 of those.
Yeah, see, but Clemson is the one team that I look at and go, yeah, okay, you're ranked very high, but there are also some unknowns that I'm not sure I'm ready to commit to.
Notre Dame, who we don't really know anything about their quarterback, is going to score on that Clemson team that has 7 draftable prospects. I'm going to say no.
Maybe.
I'm going to say no. Notre Dame's one of my favorite unders.
Your favorite unders for the season?
Because their projection's 9.5 with the bowl game.
Okay.
Always be careful with that, by the way. I've seen more than one person get burned because the team goes, 8-4 or 9-3 in the regular season, then they win a bowl game, that counts too.
Yeah.
Depends on the service.
Always
ask the
hit
question.
you on the over. Notre Dame plus 4,000 to win the national championship. I believe there is a path that they could get into the playoff, especially if the first week, wing and a prayer, touchdown Jesus, don't know what kind of deal Marcus Freeman has made.
He would have to make that Joe Namath, Bill Belichick deal with the devil.
Maybe he did.
And I don't think the head coach at Notre Dame is going to do that.
Maybe he did. You don't know. You don't know what he does in his private time. We've been shocked by some other things that have happened with coaches in college football throughout the years.
I'm going to make a sweeping declaration here. Now, I'm not saying anything about the number. If Notre Dame outright beats Ohio State, I will do this show Monday in a chicken suit.
I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm saying if it's competitive, if it's close, if for some reason Ohio State doesn't win by 2 or more touchdowns, which is I think what's going to happen, and it's close, then that'll be a discussion at the end of the season.
And see, there's way too many variables with Notre Dame. That has letdown written all over it to me.
Mm-hmm. I got to take the other quote-unquote layup, and I know that Jeremy's not going to take them because he hates them, but I don't necessarily hate them. I think they're a very talented team. I think they have a lot of young players that they're going to get a lot out of. I even believe in their coach more than Jeremy did, and he's a guy that won him a national championship.
Yep, I already wrote them in. I knew exactly.
Texas A&M fighting Aggies.
Yeah, that's 2 you've now taken, that there was absolutely no path I was getting there. I just don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I do not buy it. I have never bought it, and I don't think I ever will.
With Jimbo or just Texas A&M?
Jimbo Fisher had a special roster at Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that here. I see a team with no quarterback. I mean, you have a quarterback, but for whatever reason, he didn't win your job, which is unsettling to me. And now you're going to go into a division where you have to play Ole Miss, Arkansas, Alabama, and LSU. You know what all 4 of those teams have in common? I trust them more than I trust Texas A&M.
Okay.
That would terrify me.
All right. It is a tough schedule. You're gonna have to put your big boy britches on and win some big games. But this is the team that beat Alabama last year, and maybe they grow on that.
I know one, and I'm just going to lean on there has to be a path for you to get there.
Okay.
And there is a team that I think has enough winnable games on their schedule that will look attractive enough that if they go through the schedule, I'll say, hey, let them out. And this is going to pain me to say, even more than it would have pained me to say Jimbo Fisher. It's Miami. Miami gets Texas A&M at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. You win that game, you all of a sudden have cred that, I don't think you've actually done that much, but nationally, everybody will be talking about the U's back. Then you go a solid. That game is on September the 17th. They do not play another game that they could lose. I'm talking any shot that they lose until November the 19th. Yeah, I know they play North Carolina. That's in Miami. And do you remember what happened last time? Because I promise you they do.
Mm-hmm. That was the Javonte Williams, Michael Carter game.
That was where they damn near set an NCAA record for most rushing yards in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, they remember that. And I guarantee you Mario Cristobal, even though he wasn't there, he will use that all week long. Then you end up at Clemson and against Pittsburgh. You win those 2 games, you go into the ACC title game, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think they keep you out. You would have 3 wins that would just be far superior to whoever that 4 is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got an undefeated Miami and an undefeated USC, tie goes to Miami because they have wins that you don't.
All right. Miami, Jeremy's choice. Now he has another pick coming up.
I do, and this one's a little bit more difficult.
But we're also up against it with a break. So we're going to give him the opportunity. Think about it for a second. make sure that's where you want to go with your third selection?
I have another one, and I think I need a few minutes to make sure it can actually come out of my mouth, because I've kind of spent all offseason sliding this team, but I feel like they're the easy pick at 5.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. The Daily Draft continues next. College football playoff bracket busters.
Your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 west and eastbound delays on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. And finally, 240 westbound stop and go approaching I-40 due to an accident that's on 26 eastbound between I-40 and the French Broad River. Heavy backups here. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road delays. On Bavard Road southbound between Bent Creek and Clayton Road, heavy volume. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound delays between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. I'm Lindenfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Churches.
At Churches, we put it all on the table for less. Get 10-piece legs and thighs, 2 large size, 5 honey butter biscuits, and 5 jalapeno peppers starting at just $20. Churches Texas Chicken. Welcome to the great state of flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about goofier than a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
Welcome back into the Daily Draft here in the Sportsocracy. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. So far in our college football playoff bracket busters Daily Draft, Jeremy's come up with Utah and Miami as possible entrants into the Final Four. I'm going Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Jeremy is on the board for another pick here. Who could possibly break into that group of Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, USC, and Clemson? Those are the teams that are eliminated because those are the teams that Jeremy and I have picked to make the Final Four this year.
I have looked through every team on this list, trying to find somebody that makes sense more than the team I'm about to say. You have to go back to you're either going to have to win a conference or you're going to have to knock off one of the other teams. There's one team that has a path to doing that. I don't think it's a great path, but I've been wrong before, so I'm going to hedge. NC State.
NC State. Okay.
Let's say Clemson. Let's say Clemson still has offensive problems. This is a vet team. Get the win this weekend against the Fighting Mike Houstons.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look down the schedule. It's not super daunting the more you look at it.
It's really not. And the ACC is weak. We know that.
But it's just strong enough. It's just strong enough that if you beat Clemson, beat Wake Forest after Sam Hartman comes back, you'd have a win against East Carolina, Texas Tech. I'm not saying those are at least non-conference games that weren't the Citadel.
Roast beef Tech, yeah.
And then you'd have to beat Carolina at home and then beat Miami in the ACC title game.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably enough.
Maybe. I would say
there ain't another
maybe.
school that if they don't lose to East Carolina, you don't have a losable game until October the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have another one after that until November the 5th. You don't have another one until the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Right. All right. NC State, by the way, in case you're wanting to, just burn money, you could put a wager down on them to win the national title and get plus 15,000 odds for the NC State Wolfpack. Yep, that one was never coming out of my mouth. So I'll leave that one to you. Now, it's my turn again. And I am, I made fun of him for doing it, but I'm going to take another one of the teams that Desmond Howard had in his Final Four, his college football playoff field. It's Baylor.
I should have taken them instead of NC State.
Dave Aranda and the Baylor Bears. Dave Aranda has, I liked him before he went to Baylor and turned them into a really good team. I mean, they were a really good team last year. Now, I know there was a lot of change on that team. You don't have the defensive stars, especially in the secondary, that you had last year. Jalen Petrie and JT Woods, those guys are in the NFL now. But you do have last year's backup, who I believed in. Blake Shapen is now taking over the quarterback reins. This is a team that always runs the football well. They play hard-nosed defense. That's Dave Aranda's bread and butter. And I look at their schedule and go, yeah, maybe so.
I did not think you were going to do that because you believe in Oklahoma way more than I do.
I don't believe Oklahoma has a shot. I played the Jim Ross drop coming in here. He's a Sooner, and no offense, JR, but your Oklahoma Sooners are not getting close to the college football playoff this year. Oklahoma, on the other hand, can, because they have a couple of roadblocks on the schedule. I mean, they do have to go to Oklahoma, and they have to go to Texas. Those are going to be tough games to win on the road. But you get Oklahoma State at home. And we remember they had a hell of a Big 12 championship game last year with Oklahoma State and won it on one of the greatest defensive stands that I've ever seen in college football. And other than that, I'm not thrilled about or scared of anybody else that's on their schedule. They could possibly win the Big 12 and find themselves in the college football playoff. At worst, I think they lose a game in this season. They won one of the big bowls last year. They could very well be in another one of them this year. So I will take the Baylor Bears, who for the national championship, you can get them for $12,500.
Means you would make that if you wagered 100 U.S. dollars.
Mm-hmm. They have the same odds as Kentucky and Arkansas. They're just above North Carolina. To me, that's ridiculous.
Hey, my NC State pick has the same odds as Washington, of which there's a better chance that we find 53 people from Asheville to go win the national title.
All right. And then for my next pick, I don't really want to do this, but they're also a team that I think is a whole lot of fun to watch. And there's a very small chance that they're going to be able to even win their conference. But I really love their coach. And I think he's doing a hell of a job trying to rebuild that program. It's the Ole Miss Rebels.
Well, I've done this poorly because that was my next pick.
Oh, no.
There is a possibility. Look, I've been on record as saying I think Jackson Dart's going to win a Heisman.
Yes.
I do believe he is that good, and now that he's tied to Lane Kiffin, now it's, all I did was change the coach. It was Lincoln Riley, now it's Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Evans was a big get. Question is, can they stop anybody? And I just don't know. They lost a lot of talent off that defense.
They did.
That wasn't great in the first place.
They did, and they play in the SEC West. 4 of their last 5 games, much the same as Texas A&M. They got LSU, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Arkansas. That's 4 weeks in a row. Now, if you came out of that 4-week stretch and you were 2-2, most teams would consider that a major win on the season. Not that it wouldn't be for Ole Miss, but I think they could probably they might be able to go 3-1 in that stretch because that's how good the offense is.
All right, now this is the official hedge of all hedges. Because these are 2 teams that I do not particularly like, but they do have 2 of the clearest paths to get in if they were to run the table. And they don't play in the most difficult conference you've ever seen.
Okay.
Now, one of them has a great big roadblock because they have to play Alabama. If you can keep that within striking distance, and then you run the table, and you win your conference, you got a shot. These 2 teams are very well linked, so I might as well say them together. Texas and Oklahoma.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Texas and Oklahoma. Let's say Baylor can't score. Well, somebody's winning that conference, and I don't know how it would be anybody that's not those 3.
Mm-hmm.
There is a substantial drop-off from there. And if either one of them's better than I think they are, they're going to win that conference. Because I don't think either one's necessarily drastically behind Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Dave Aranda better than both coaches. I like the roster better. But you never know. Maybe you strike lightning in a bottle. You have a direct line. Notice there's been 2 SEC teams, and I took neither one of them. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. I mean, because it is the toughest conference to try to come out of.
And there is every one of them has the gigantic roadblock of either Alabama, Georgia, or both.
Mm-hmm. All right, my final pick for today's daily draft in the college football playoff party crashers. It's the Penn State Nittany Lions. I don't feel like there's a shot. I mean, there's not a snowball's chance in Atlanta that Sean Clifford is going to be able to carry a team to a national championship.
But he is a 6th-year senior.
He is.
Which is definitely something that deserves its flowers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, being older than everybody else can have its advantages. Kenny Pickett comes to mind off of last year's Pitt team. The bad part is they gotta beat both Michigan and Ohio State,
and then do it again when you play them in the Big Ten title game.
Yes.
I do not see a shot of that. I think they're going to struggle tonight. Just let that be known.
They could. This is not a team that looks flashy on the offensive end. They don't score a whole lot of points. But the defense clamps down James Franklin. I've been waiting for the year that I could turn around and go, see, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I expected when James Franklin took the Penn State job. Maybe that's this year. Maybe with the senior, super senior quarterback, and maybe you can make it happen. Really tough defense. The Big Ten, it's not the hardest of conferences, at least as it sits right now. But you do have two big roadblocks, and maybe you can pull some magic. Penn State plus 10,000 to win the national championship. Again, you'd be setting money on fire if you did it.
But if you're right, that'll be a thing you did forever.
Oh, it's all the doubloons. All right, do you have a UDFA?
I do.
All right, we're going to go with it.
And I went super deep.
Super deep. All right.
I am trying to this team is plus 35,000.
Holy smokes.
This team has longer odds than Georgia Tech.
All right, go ahead. Give it to us.
They could lose tonight.
All right, let me get mine out of the way first, and then we'll let you go deep divey with your UDFA. Mine will be the LSU Tigers.
My family, I get it.
Me and my family came down here to win national championships.
I get it. It's just there's a lot of impediments.
Well, there's a lot of impediments to all of these teams.
There are way less impediments to my last one.
Oh, gosh.
It's the Pittsburgh Panthers. Oh. Let's say Keaton Slovis is what everybody thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
Who exactly is supposed to stop you? It's a talented team. You have one of the best running backs in the country.
Mm-hmm. Got a great defense.
Offensively, you're very stout.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive line is great.
And that'd be all well and good. But they're going to lose tonight to the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Stop it.
Oh,
stop inciting me.
I just did it. I just put the old Tank Spencer kiss of death on your West Virginia Mountaineers.
You certainly did.
For tonight. All right, there it is, your daily draft for the day. Teams that might, snowball's chance in Atlanta, be able to crash the party in the college football playoff this year. You are in the Sportsocracy. When we come back, the most important message of the day, plus we will get into tonight's action on the gridiron.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, looking at some gorgeous weather tonight with 50s in the mountains and a nice start to September for us here. We've got some 80s on Friday and then some 70s for the weekend ahead. Looks like rain chances picking up for us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with some half-inch rains late this weekend and early next week for us. So kind of wet and cool into the holiday weekend forecast through Labor Day Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. Future 26 eastbound delays between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 eastbound slow between I-40 and the French Broad River. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound delays between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, stop and go approaching Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound, stop and go between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Bent Creek, Bavard Road southbound, stop and go between the Bent Creek area and Clayton Road. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. The brand new Galaxy Z Flip 4 is here. Capture hands-free content from every angle with Flex Mode. The sleek foldable design lets you make your device conveniently compact. Visit Samsung.com to order your Galaxy Z Flip 4 today.
When it comes to losing weight and getting healthier, there is one name that I now trust above all others, and it's Dr. Ashley Lucas. The PhD weight loss program has helped me lose more than 85 pounds since Thanksgiving. The numbers speak for themselves. The PhD team has helped me through the process with the
guidance of Dr. Ashley Lucas, who is the owner and founder, and now she has a new title, best-selling author. Her new book, 5 Steps to Reset the Scale, is a bestseller on Amazon. PhD is helping me collapse the visceral fat that has been holding me back all these years. And I'm also learning how to break the addictions that I have with food. PhD provides me with 80% of the food that I need to have success on the program. And at under 210 pounds, it has opened up a whole new world to me. Get Dr. Ashley Lucas's book, 5 Steps to Reset the Scale, at myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch. It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Seen everywhere on YouTube and heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Time for the most important message of the day. Do not do crimes. Stupid criminal stories are one of the things is just the lifeblood, I feel like, of this program sometimes. And boy, do I have a doozy for you coming from St. Peters, Missouri. This is, a town along the Mississippi River where a group of burglars decided that they were going to try to steal guns. Never a good idea. They decided they were going to try to do this, though, from an Academy Sports store. So first off, the group goes and they steal 2 cars. They steal 2 cars. One of them, they drove into the front of the store to break in, as you do. The other one was the getaway car. Here's the problem. They got into the store. This is about 5:30 in the morning. They get into the store. They didn't bring anything with them to get to the guns. Now, the guns in the Academy Sports are all locked up behind the counter. They also have protecting the guns bulletproof glass. So they had guns, and they came in, and they tried to shoot out the case, the glass case. Well, the bulletproof glass didn't break. So what did they try to do? Well, they tried to kick it. So the bullet wouldn't pierce it, but you thought kicking it was going to work. That was a brilliant idea. Would you like to know how many guns they got away with?
0.
0, indeed. Now, the weirdest part of the story, other than these guys are just absolute morons, there was a report hours earlier in Illinois on the other side of the Mississippi River from where they were in Missouri, St. Peters, Missouri, O'Fallon, Illinois, on Highway 50. Hours earlier, a similar situation happened at another Academy Sports. So I have to say that I feel like this was the same group of guys, because the chances of there being 2 different incidents where somebody drove into the front of an Academy Sports and tried to shoot out the glass that was keeping the guns, the chances that 2 of those happening at the same time and it not being connected, I'm going to say pretty remote. So they tried it at 1,
and then did the same thing at the other one. Of course, they are on the loose. They don't, they're looking.
I don't look for them to get to elude arrest for long.
Oh my gosh!
My story is not just a stupid criminal. My story is a slew of stupid criminals.
Oh, okay.
What do I hate more than anything in this world?
Birds.
What do I hate more than anything that doesn't fly in this world?
Snakes.
I don't mind snakes. TikTok is what I was after.
I had a long list there.
The Los Angeles Police Department has issued an alert saying there is a pandemic stemming from TikTok.
Okay.
Apparently, there is a TikTok Kia Hyundai social media challenge.
Okay.
What this is idiots, and that is as nicely as I can say this, doing crimes because they're hot-wiring Kias and Hyundais and recording it and putting it on TikTok.
Oh, my gosh.
Because those two vehicles do not have ignition immobilizers, which makes it exponentially easier to hotwire them. A, crimes. B, recording yourself doing it is the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard. It's now happened so many times. In the year of 2021, Kia and Hyundai made up 13% of all stolen vehicles in Los Angeles. So far this year, that number is over 20%.
Wow.
And it's in large part because of a stupid TikTok challenge.
Who steals a Kia?
Am I the only one that is starting to think that TikTok might actually just be evolution bearing itself out?
100%.
I mean, I know that's an offensive thing to say to some. Some of the stupid things I have seen people do on that app are dumbfounding to me. And how many stories have we told of people that die whilst doing things that they were trying to put on TikTok? Stop it!
Darwinism. It's wonderful. We got college football tonight. Week 1 gets underway. 7 o'clock tonight. And we know, Jeremy, you're all about your West Virginia Ninjas taking on Pittsburgh.
Look, this is going to be a competitive game. We haven't played the backyard brawl in quite some time. Very formidable opponent. Was that enough, Coach speak?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because what I really want to say is, we're going to win this game by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. The first time the backyard...
Martin Couches, baby!
The first time the backyard brawl's been held in 10 years. And, you got 2 former USC quarterbacks that are going to be going head-to-head. JT Daniels, back up for the national champion Georgia Bulldogs last year. And, of course, Keaton Slovis, starting for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
I have not really changed my opinion on Keaton Slovis. I still do not think he is a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
JT Daniels, on the other hand, I've always thought he was more talented than Cowboy Hat Bennett. Pew, pew.
I'm right there with you.
And now you got Graham Harrell running the offense. It's not going to be that, oh, good Lord, I'm trying to not swear, offense that I got to watch last year. And Jared Dagey. I don't have to say that name ever again, and that makes me so happy.
Mm-hmm. The other competitive game that we have tonight is Penn State and Purdue. Big Ten showdown. Outside of that, are there any of these games that you think are going to be close?
Maybe a couple of them are closer than you might think.
Well, maybe so. We got Jeremy's Picks of the Night coming up next here in the Sportsocracy. If you're making one pick to change the rest of your life, you need to pick PhD weight loss. You got a weight problem. You've been like me. You've been a big person your entire life, and you never really know how to get a handle on it. How do I get healthy when I've always been unhealthy? PhD Weight Loss has a program that has helped me lose 90 pounds since last Thanksgiving. I went into a store today, handed them my ID, and the guy looked at it and goes, "Whoa, you've been working hard." Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have. And it's interactions like that that just make me think, maybe this isn't it. Maybe I have more that I can accomplish.
I did not have to do, off your driver's license things. However, I had gotten very lazy and sedentary in my lifestyle. I was athletic in my younger years, but I had gotten, we'll say, a little pudgy. Now, after just over 6 months on this program, I'm back to walking golf courses, being competitive, and I'm back at the gym, doing all the things I'm supposed to do. It's thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
If you're looking for reactions, maybe you need to call them. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. When we come back from the break, all your banger picks for Thursday night in Week 1 of college football.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound slow between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 eastbound stop and go between I-40 and the French Broad River. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound delays between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. 40 westbound again slow between the Smoky Park Highway and Georges Branch Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound stop and go approaching Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between I-40 and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound and southbound slow between Clayton Road and Sardis Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything for school at prices that won't hold you back. One subject notebooks are 35 cents each. Plus, during the backpack clearance event, save up to 50% on select backpacks, lunch bags, and water bottles. In-store only. Offer ends 9/3. Limit 30 on notebooks. Send your kids forward to school at Staples.
The Honest Truly Calming Collection is our must-have for Hazy's nighttime routine. The tear-free shampoo body wash and moisturizing conditioner help make bath time easy. The Truly Calming face and body lotion nourishes his delicate skin throughout the night. Honest overnight diapers keep leaks on lock for up to 12 hours, so we can both get a good night's sleep. For sweet dreams, end your kiddo's day with the Honest Truly Calming Collection.
That looks delicious.
Yeah, it's Taco Bell's Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito. Don't know if you heard, but it has double steak, cheese grilled on top of it, and nacho cheese sauce inside.
Ooh, let me have a bite.
Nah, you're already cheesy enough with all your dad jokes.
And I keep all my jokes in a dad-a-base.
Leave me alone. I'm hungry.
No, you're Dave. Hungry is a country.
Taco Bell's Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito is back. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only. Contact local store for hours and participation which vary. Double the steak claim is compared to the steak quesadilla.
It's the Best Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? September 17th. Go to bristolmotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Coffee closes on me. Get him the money! Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Oh, it feels good to be doing this with teams that somebody might care about. I got 5 picks for you tonight. First night of college football. First real night with real teams that matter. First, the Tennessee Volunteers are a 35.5-point favorite tonight against Ball State. They might cover that in the first half. I don't care if the backups come in. I could care less. This is going to be an evisceration. Tennessee is trying to prove a point. I love Tennessee. I'm not going to lie. We hadn't talked about them much. I love this team going into this year. They're going to be really scrappy and really annoying. This is going to be one of their only chances to really put up points. Give me Tennessee minus 35.5. Penn State's a 3.5-point favorite tonight at Purdue. People are undervaluing. I understand Aiden O'Connell's a 6-year senior for Purdue. So is Sean Clifford at Penn State, and Purdue lost all their weapons. It's as easy as it gets. Penn State, easy, minus 3.5.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
If you're new to this show, there is nothing that I love more than a road dog, and I got 3 of them. Louisiana Tech is a 21.5-point dog tonight at Missouri. Missouri sucks, and that is the nicest way I could possibly say that. They shouldn't be a 21.5-point favorite against a group of Girl Scouts. Give me Louisiana Tech plus 21.5. Central Michigan is a 21.5-point dog tonight against Oklahoma State. I'm not saying this game's close. Remember last year, Oklahoma State did not score easily. Central Michigan is better than people think. I think it stays about 17. Give me Central Michigan plus 21.5. And the backyard brawl.
Country roads, take me home.
I tried so hard
to the place.
I wanted to do it, and I'm gonna. Give me Country Roads, baby. West Virginia plus 7.5. They pull the upset outright. Take me home, Country Roads.
Country roads.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Jeremy Greens are getting a win tonight.
Yeah.
Florida State may let me down on Sunday, but I'm getting one this weekend.
A lot of build up to this West Virginia-Pittsburgh game. Of course, it is the backyard brawl that has not been played in a decade. And I just don't know. I mean, how do you get your guys all invested in this when most of them didn't even know this was a rivalry, I bet?
No, they knew it was a rivalry. Trust me, as somebody that's been in this, I promise you. Pittsburgh's it's a little over an hour, and it's one of those things that if you've never lived it, I can't really explain it to you. This is a level of hate that rivals Duke Carolina basketball. These two schools absolutely despise each other. A lot of guys come from the same area of the world. You grew up either rooting for West Virginia, you grew up rooting for Pittsburgh. There is a lot of hatred here. And I'm telling you, here's what swayed me. I almost got swayed back by your kiss of death because you are the absolute worst person to have on my side. Mm-hmm. But college football, Fox, college football, whatever their show is called, they put out a graphic. It was they had recorded Pittsburgh players, West Virginia players. They asked every West Virginia player, say something nice about Pittsburgh. Every one of them responded, can't. There's not anything.
Wow.
And I watched that and I went, that's a level of anger that I have not seen in quite some time, probably back to the Rich Rod days. Mm-hmm. And there's something, maybe I'm falling for this. I've fallen for it before, and you know what? I'll take my L. I got plenty of games to get back this weekend. I have a funny feeling that Graham Harrell is going to make this offense look coherent. I've always liked JT Daniels. He knows this is a deep quarterback class. He knows this is one of his only real shots to prove that he's an NFL-level quarterback, and I think he's going to do it.
Yep. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day already. We've had news all over the place. Russell Wilson getting his big 5-year contract extension with the Denver Broncos. Tennessee Titans, unfortunately, losing Harold Landry for the season with a torn ACL. The big trade in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers getting Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. And we get to top it all off with a little cherry on top of the sundae. Opener of Week 1. College football.
It's so good. There's games all night long. There's games tomorrow. There's games on Saturday. Obviously, a full slate of games on Saturday.
Oh.
And then you have the two cake toppers, the ACC matchup on Monday with Clemson and Georgia Tech, and my Florida State Seminoles taking on the LSU Tigers on Sunday.
Indeed.
It's just a weekend full of football.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a whole lot of fun on this program tomorrow, picking all the games.
And look, this is a PSA, all right? If you see a very large, ginger-bearded individual after West Virginia wins this here game, and maybe he's wearing less clothing than you would want him to, and he looks like maybe he's had an adult beverage or two, you know what? Just throw him another one, because he's living his best life. And what are you, a cop? All right? I haven't had much to be excited about in a long time. This has Jeremy comes in tomorrow just so let down, and his head hurts.
Don't be in public, at least.
Oh, no, I might just be stone cold Steve Austining beers off my porch. If you live near me and you see that, just, maybe mind your business. Maybe close the drapes.
What are you, a cop?
Maybe just move along and let a man enjoy his day.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise if Jeremy doesn't get a complaint lodged against him in the apartment complex tonight.
You know what? I'm a friend of the HOA.
Well, I'm a friend of the HWA, so.
Oh, yeah, that's who you should be praying for.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's who you should be praying for. I mean, the destruction that could be left in my wake if we actually win this game. You might have to drop our trash off at the lumber yard. You might have to take this to Biltmore Iron and Metal by the end of it.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Enjoy tonight's football. We'll be here to preview all of the weekend action with you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right back here in the Ingles Studio.
To the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, looking at some gorgeous weather tonight with 50s in the mountains and a nice start to September for us here. We've got some 80s on Friday and then some 70s for the weekend ahead. Looks like rain chances picking up for us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with some half-inch rains late this weekend and early next week for us. So kind of wet and cool into the holiday weekend forecast through Labor Day Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing. 240 westbound between Amboy Road and I-26. 26 westbound is stop and go and backing up between I-40 and the French Broad River. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound light delays between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. 40 westbound again slow between the Smoky Park Highway and Georges Branch Road. Bavard Road near Bent Creek is stop and go near Bent Creek to Clayton Road. And again near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Biltmore Forest area, Hendersonville Road southbound is stop and go between I-40 and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. The brand new Galaxy Z Flip 4 is here. Capture hands-free content from every angle with Flex Mode. The sleek foldable design lets you make your device conveniently compact. Visit Samsung.com to order your Galaxy Z Flip 4 today.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.